We're the Rockwood High School cheerleaders here at ORUD getting fired up for tonight's game. Green and white, Tiger spots. Green and white, Tiger spots. Green and white, Tiger spots. Host your friends in style when entertaining this football season with natural gas appliances purchased from ORUD at 0% interest. Want to cozy up next to a natural gas fireplace after a chilly night at the ball field? Let ORUD help you with the play-by-play to truly make your house feel like home. ORUD can help you clean up after the ability of a natural gas water heater and the energy savings of a gas dryer. Now it's your turn to be the champion of your team and score a touchdown with ORUD and natural gas, a winning combination. Let's go, Rockwood!
I'm alive.
Cheerleaders here at ORUD getting fired up.
Welcome into tonight's OEB Law Game of the Week. I'm Aaron Harvey, joined by James Gibson. Tonight we are at Rockwood as Cumberland Gap is in town, and I want to take a moment to welcome in title sponsor again, OEB Law, through charity event sponsorships, Shrine Circus, Rivalry Thursday, Ice Bears, Our Game, Sponsor Jam, Harlem Globetrotters, WWE Wrestling, Spotlight Kids and County Fairs. OEB helps out. Every season they identify a current event need on the national or local level and try to lead and get the word out that help is needed, and then lead by example by organizing or contributing to the relief effort. For more information on what OEB Law can do for you, call 865-546-1111 or go to recintoacheck.com. It is senior night here at Rockwood High School on Civitan Field. It is also homecoming as I welcome in my cohort, James Gibson. It is week 11 of high school football. We made it.
Wow, isn't it? I mean, the season's really flown by.
Yeah, and you always love to see a game this late with something on the line. Tonight, it's third place in Region 2 AA, and whoever wins this one, Rockwood or Cumberland Gap, gets that 3 seed. The loser gets the 4 seed.
It's a big game, and we should have a good one here tonight.
I do expect a good one as well. So he's James Gibson. I'm Aaron Harvey. This is the OEB Law Game of the Week. We'll talk about games going on around the area. We've got playoff scenarios coming up for you. We'll talk about stuff that happened last week, and we'll react to it as well. Again, you are tuned in to the OEB Law Game of the Week.
Support community here.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
It's nothing personal. It's just business.
Hello?
That's how some people do things.
Right away.
To us, everything we do is personal. Because anyone can answer the call. It's who shows up that matters most. That's the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them.
Griffin Insurance is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
It's truck and SUV season at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. New 2019 Ford EcoSport, $17,726. New 2020 Ford Explorer XLT, $34,995. Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. Shops online at rayvarnerford.com.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
It's truck and SUV season at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. New 2019 Ford Mustang EcoBoost, $23,995. New 2019 F-150 Super Crew, $30,995. Shops online at rayvarnerford.com.
I am a simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best, and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a simplicity dealer.
S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Stand apart from the crowd. Smart, clean, professional. Let Reno's fit your style. Business and corporate wear to keep your business on the move. Reno's, it's sporting goods and a whole lot more. The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Helen Hammer.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low prices.
Race on down!
Big E's Deli and Market is now open in Rockwood at 326 North Gateway Avenue. They have both 100% gas and gas with ethanol. They are open from 6 a.m. until 11 p.m., 7 days a week. Come by and visit the new owners of Big E's. They have all types of sandwiches in the deli, plus competitive gas prices and the coldest drinks in town. That's Big E's Market, 326 North Gateway Avenue in Rockwood.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Few better ways to come back from break than to be greeted with our nation's national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner, performed by the Rockwood Marching Band. This is the OEB Law Game of the Week. Again, give them a call, 865-546-1111, or visit reckontoacheck.com to see what they can do for you. We're so happy to have them on board with us all season long. So let's talk about this season, as I'm Aaron Harvey, joined by James Gibson. Oak Ridge, boy, they've had one heck of a turnaround. The team went from getting dominated by West, which we saw personally, to beating Mount Juliet, which we saw personally, and having a 14-point lead over undefeated Powell in the fourth quarter. How do you describe what Coach Gaddis has done with that team?
Well, that coaching staff has done a really good job the second half of this season. You know, the young Oak Ridge roster, they're now more experienced with several games under their belt, so they're playing great ball, and great job of the coaching staff.
Oak Ridge facing a game with playoff seeding on the line tonight as well. Lots can happen in that region, but if Oak Ridge loses to Fulton, the Wildcats will be a 4 seed when it's all said and done. And make no mistake, Fulton is much improved as well.
Yeah, they've came a long way. You know, with that young roster, I believe they was only returning something like 2 starters from last year. So, you know, they're going to have their hands full to beat a very talented Oak Ridge team without their starting quarterback, by the way, Tommy Sweat, who suffered a season-ending ankle injury in last week's 22-0 loss at West. So I'm going to go ahead and say Oak Ridge wins this one pretty comfortable.
So if you look on your screen there, you'll see the playoff bracket for Class 5A in the top of the whole state bracket, and see there that Oak Ridge and Fulton taking the 3 or 4 seed in Region 3. And then you see the question marks beside the number 4 seed for Region 3, and that's because all of this stuff that you see on the right as the scenarios are laid out. But TSSAA on their playoff scenario website actually has the same 3 question marks, because the playoff tiebreaker is so deep that they don't know the answer to it yet, and they won't know until the conclusion of tonight's games. But we do know one thing for sure, and that's if Fulton beats Oak Ridge, Fulton is the 3 seed and Oak Ridge is the 4 seed. But if Oak Ridge wins that game, then you've got Karnes battling in there, Cumberland County, Clinton in there. It's a mess for that last seed. So, and we'll go over more of those as we get into it. By the way, Central, the Bobcats, went down. That team had won 23 straight games, and South Doyle made that W look easy by running Missouri commit Elijah Young in a Wildcat formation all night long. Does that make a team like Oak Ridge or Fulton feel better about a potential early matchup with Central?
Well, it shows them that Central can be beat, first off. But the problem is Oak Ridge and Fulton currently don't have Elijah Young. This guy has 9 scholarship offers from Power 5 schools. He has over 1,600 yards rushing right now, 32 touchdowns, and he's legit.
He is legit. 32 touchdowns, that's quite a number.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll talk about some more things. Like, we'll talk about what happened last night, a big surprise coming out of Morgan County, so we'll talk about that. You're tuned in to the OEB Law Game of the Week.
Support community here.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
It's nothing personal. It's just business.
Hello?
That's how some people do things.
Right away.
To us, everything we do is personal. Because anyone can answer the call. It's who shows up that matters most. That's the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them.
Griffin Insurance is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
It's truck and SUV season at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. New 2019 Ford EcoSport, $17,726. New 2020 Ford Explorer XLT, $34,995. Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. Shops online at rayvarnerford.com.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
It's truck and SUV season at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. New 2019 Ford Mustang EcoBoost, $23,995. New 2019 F-150 Super Crew, $30,995. Shops online at rayvarnerford.com.
Welcome back into our OEB Law Game of the Week. Aaron Harvey, James Gibson, and we are here at Civitan Field in Rockwood, Tennessee. We've got the the Rockwood Band on the field. We've got senior night here that just took place. We've got homecoming also, which will take place, I'm guessing, at halftime. That's normally when homecoming takes place. So a very jam-packed night here for Rockwood. But I want to thank all of our sponsors, not just OEBlaw.com. If you want to know more information about what they can do for you, go to reckontoacheck.com. But all of our sponsors, including Smoking Joe's, ice-cold beverages and all your tobacco needs can be found at one place in Rockwood. Yes, and it's located in Rockwood on Gateway Avenue. Yes, you guessed it. It is Smoking Joe's. They're located next to B&O Motors. If you're traveling south, it's on the right. If you're traveling north, it's on your left. If you're traveling up, you're going to miss it. That's Smoking Joe's, Gateway Avenue in Rockwood. So I didn't see it coming at all, Coach Gibson. I never would have picked Coalfield to defeat Oneida, especially off the heels of that 27-0 drubbing that we saw last week at Oliver Springs. Explain this one to me.
Well, in high school football and college football, anything can happen any given night. And Oneida, who's had a great year, couldn't get it done. Coalfield is a very hard place to play, and after they got beat handedly by Oliver Springs, let's just be honest, they were mad.
They were.
They were trying to prove a point to their coach as well. They took it out on Oneida, and they came out on top.
They certainly did. Oneida in that one late, trying to punch in a score to tie that one, and Coalfield comes down with a big interception to seal it. So let's move on. Loudon and Red Bank, they meet tonight for a regular season region championship in Region 3, Class 3A. And we've talked about this Loudon team all year long because they started the season with a very impressive win over Greenback. And since then, they've just kept knocking off every opponent. And now going for 10-0 and a region championship against Red Bank. Who you got in this one?
Well, what a job, first off, over there at Loudon that they've done, going from 3-8 to 9-0 in 1 year. But I could never pick against the Redskins, so I'm going with Loudon by 6 in this one. You?
I'm going to have to go with the Redskins as well. It's hard to pick against Loudon in this situation. So let's take a look at playoff scenarios around the area because there are some important games, as we have already talked about. And we'll look to see where everyone is seated and where everyone could be seated. So you see Class 1A playoff brackets, the teams we care about, it's set in stone. Cloudland got that number 1 seed in Region 1, so Harriman taking that number 4 seed. And what can you say about that?
I tell you, that's a game that Harriman could come out on top on that. And really, that'd be a great win for Travis Tapp and company. So that's a trap game for Cloudon there.
I would say so as well. And then you've got Oliver Springs getting to host Jellicoe. That should be a pretty easy victory for the Bobcats.
Yeah, Oliver Springs big there.
And then you've got Coalfield having to travel to Hancock County. But, again, that's a game Coalfield is very capable of winning.
Oh, yeah, I've got Coalfield on that one as well. Hancock County, that's a heck of a drive getting down there to that. So. But I've still got Coalfield big.
Greenback playing Unaka, kind of interesting. Greenback was set to play Unaka a few years back in the playoffs, and Unaka forfeit. they didn't want to play Greenbacks?
I think they only had about 12 players at that time. So, UNAC has done a great job of getting that roster filled back out, and they've made the playoffs. But I don't, this is going to be a big blowout by Greenback.
And the point was made when they forfeited that game, they also forfeited their postseason for the next year. So, and now they're back in it. So, let's see, Class 2A, here's where you got a little bit of a gap. Region 1, number 1, that's yet to be filled up. Region 1, number 3. Actually, Region 1 yet to be filled up, but you've got Region 2 a little bit more set with Oneida coming in at number 2, Meigs County at number 1. We know that. The winner of tonight's game will be number 3. Will fall into number 4. So here's a look at that Region 1. So if Hampton and South Green win, you've got Hampton taking number 1 seed and South Green taking number 2. That's easy. But if South Green and Cosby wins, then you've got South Green, Happy Valley, and then you've got Hampton falling in at number 3. But if Happy Valley wins, none of anything else matters because Happy Valley will be the number 1 team, Hampton number 2, South Green number 3, and Sullivan North number 4. So that is still a mess.
Yeah, it's a mess until we get some wins here tonight.
So we'll get that figured out, and hopefully by the end of the night we'll be able to tell you where Rockwood and Cumberland Gap are going for the playoffs. So we'll find out. Class 3A, the teams we care about, Chucky Doak winning Region 1. And then you've got, it's either going to be Gatlinburg-Pittman or Kingston, and Gatlinburg-Pittman has played so well all season long, and Coach Brian Pankey and that Kingston Yellow Jacket team have played well, I'd say, the second half of the season.
Yeah, they came on strong, and I think it kind of started down here at Rockwood, really. They came a long way because we covered them early, and there was a lot of mistakes, sloppy ball all over the field, so they've came a long way.
So then Johnson and Unicoi County, what's going to happen there? And then you've got Austin East, the number 2 seed, and then, of course, the number 1 seed, which will be heavily favored to get out of this entire bracket, is Alcoa. So Class 4A, Elizabethton taking that number 1 seed away from Greenville, and that's probably the first time that Greenville's not been a number 1 seed in a few years.
Yeah, it's been a while, but still got that home field advantage.
And then here's what's interesting. Anderson County always looks forward to, well, at least the fans always look forward to that inevitable matchup with Greenville. You might see it in round 2 this season.
That's going to be a game, man.
And Anderson County would have the home field advantage in that one, so the Green Devils would have to come to AC. So that's a look at Class 4A. Class 5A, you got Tennessee High, and then you got another one of these question marks. My goodness. And these are way too many scenarios to really crack down and get into, so we'll just kind of tell you what we know here. It's amazing to me that Central could still not even be the number 2 seed after South Doyle knocked them off and won that region. So South Doyle, the number 1 seed in Region 2A, didn't see that coming. So Central should be the number 2 seed, but we'll have to see what happens tonight to determine that. Class 5A, of course, Powell won Region 3 with a couple of very decisive wins. I say decisive wins, but close victories over Oak Ridge and over West, and that put West in number 2. So those 2 positions are set, but we alluded to this a little bit earlier. Oak Ridge, Fulton. If Fulton wins, then Fulton's number 3 and Oak Ridge is number 4. If Fulton doesn't win, then all heck breaks loose.
It really does. But that number 2 seed that Knox West gave up to Powell is that's going to be a big game for Knox West in the second round there, with potentially meeting South Doyle.
Yeah. So let's look. This it's Class 6A. You've got all kinds of scenarios here. So Dobbins Bennett, Science Hill play tonight. Okay, so the winner of that game is going to end up with a number 1 seed here. But then past that, oh my goodness. So Science Hill could be a number 3 seed or a number 1 seed, and but Science Hill cannot be a 2 seed. They can only be a 3 or a 1. or a 4. If Bearden and Farragut both win. Oh, my goodness. You have got to love Week 11 in high school football.
Nobody knows anything at this point.
Nobody knows anything. And then let's go to Region 2 and Class 6A. Again, all over the place. One thing we know for sure, Maryville is going to be the number 1 seed, so we've got that covered. But then it's going to be Bradley Central and McMinn County with a number 2 seed and a number 3 seed. And then for that number 4 seed, you've got 3 teams vying for it: William Blount, Cleveland, and Ottawa.
And, you know, none of these coaches would admit this, but they know almost every one of these scenarios that pertain to them.
Oh, yeah, I guarantee it. So that's what's going on around the area. When we get back, we've had this Rockwood band swaying back and forth for about 10 minutes.
Longer than that, I believe, about 45 minutes.
They're waiting. They want to start playing. They want to do their part of pregame. So we're going to do our part to pregame this game between Cumberland Gap and Rockwood when we get back. This is the OEB Law Game of the Week.
I'm a Simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best, and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a Simplicity dealer.
S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Stand apart from the crowd. Smart, clean, professional. Let Reno's fit your style. Business and corporate wear to keep your business on the move. Reno's, it's sporting goods, and a whole lot more. The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak, it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Here is Helen Hammer.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low prices. Race on down!
Big E's Deli and Market is now open in Rockwood at 326 North Gateway Avenue. They have both 100% gas and gas with ethanol. They are open from 6 a.m. until 11 p.m., 7 days a week. Come by and visit the new owners of Big E's. They have all types of sandwiches in the deli, plus competitive gas prices and the coldest drinks in town. That's Big E's Market, 326 North Gateway Avenue in Rockwood.
All right, crew, let's get started. All right.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Welcome back to the OEB Law Game of the Week as we see Rockwood run out onto the field. They look pumped, sitting at 4-5 on the year. They know if they win this game, they're getting a number 3 seed in the TSSAA playoffs. But they've got to take on Cumberland Gap, who also wants that number 3 seed. So, James Gibson, let's talk about this one. Rockwood looked like a team that might not even make the playoffs to start the year, but this team's gotten better and better in typical John Webb fashion.
Well, Rockwood was really hampered all year long by injuries, but they have kept rolling, and it's now paying off as they are now playing their best football in the second half of this season. John Webb has the Tiger team ready to make some noise in the playoffs, so keep an eye on them.
In a 5-game stretch of losses for Cumberland Gap, because they lost their first 5 games of the year, they only scored more than 14 points once. Since then, the team hasn't scored fewer than 30. Does that mean that Rockwood needs to be prepared to score a lot of points? Because, you know, Rockwood typically doesn't.
Well, you have to look at the common opponents, and what stands out to me is that Wartburg game. Rockwood held Wartburg scoreless, and Wartburg put 38 on Cumberland Gap. So Rockwood's defense should be better than anything Cumberland Gap has saw since they played Scott County or Oneida.
All right, so interesting observation about Cumberland Gap, not really a team that goes to the playoffs much.
Yeah, I believe it was one time, or 2007 was the last time they made the playoffs, or won a playoff game. I'm sorry, yes, 2007.
That's been a long time ago.
I believe that was before you could legally purchase alcohol, Aaron.
It certainly was. A squib kicker to start this one off, taken at the 30-yard line and brought up to about the 38-yard line or 37, and that's where Rockwood will take over 1st and 10. So Cumberland Gap wins the coin toss. They defer to the second half and give Rockwood the ball to start this football game, and then start out with a squib kick.
Yeah, I didn't really want to kick it too deep to the athletes of Rockwood, and I don't blame them. I wouldn't either, as we've saw several times.
Formation to start with before they finally break out into that traditional wing tee that they run. Brackett, hands off, going up the middle, across the 40, down to about the 42-yard line, and that's where the runner is stopped. And we've got a flag on the play.
Face mask against Cumberland Gap.
And our very own Brad Jones pointed that one out. And he said it pretty emphatically. He said, "That's a face mask." They got it, Brad. Calm down.
Rockwood trying to come up with a tight formation there to keep Cumberland Gap from making a defensive adjustment, and they're doing it again so it doesn't tip the defensive coordinator off for Cumberland Gap so they can make an adjustment.
So this is really interesting as Rockwood has the Hammers 1st and 10 off of the penalty. But again, Rockwood just breaks out to that wing tee as here is Brackett, drops back to pass, is hit as he throws, and that pass falls incomplete. Making the coverage there, or making the contact with the quarterback, was Cade Rogers, a junior.
Really came off the edge hard there, unblocked, untouched. Anytime that happens, your quarterback's should take a hit. So he did a good job coming off that edge rush. But somebody's going to have to peel off that and get backside with that offensive line of Rockwood.
Ball spotted at the 42-yard line of the Panthers of Cumberland Gap. So a new formation, just a single wing this time for Brackett as he pitches it out to the left. That goes to Waldo. A lot of running room across the 40, across the 35, and then being pulled out of bounds around the 30-yard line. And I think some of the fans wanted a horse collar that time.
It was a very close call, and it happened right in front of the official, so he elected not to call it, but it was a horse collar.
We'll get a good look at it right here on our replay. Grabbed his sleeve. That's really close.
We saw that particular type of play right there called several times this year.
All it has to do, again, is touch the nameplate, as here is a handoff to a new back this time. It's Jaden Hannibal, plays that slot back position, and Hannibal probably made the play of the year for our games when we saw Rockwood way, way back early in the season.
You know, it's good to see him back out there because we were worried after that game that we covered that he could have potentially hurt his knee severely. So it's good to see him back on the football field.
Indeed. That was a Hammers 1st and 10. Now no gain on the play, so it's a 2nd and 10. Wing T formation. Brackett fakes a handoff, fakes another handoff, and he's going to be brought down and sacked in the backfield. First men on the play by Tyler Mays from a linebacker position. So 2 times the quarterback has been pressured, and 2 times it's been a linebacker getting into the backfield.
Yeah, they're sending pressure, and that's what you have to do against a wing T is get some penetration. If you get penetration, you really can cause some mayhem. And you see there, they're just sending like a delayed blitz twist type of stunt, and it caused some problems for the Rockwood front. So that offensive line is going to have to do a little bit better job, but I'd like to see Rockwood try to get rid of the football quicker than that last play.
Loss of 8 brings up 3rd and 18 for Brackett.
This isn't what Rockwood football's about here.
But Brackett can throw and
Hey,
does
look
throw.
here.
That pass is complete, untouched. Touchdown, Jaden Hannibal.
They made that look easy.
They made it look easy.
Good throw by the quarterback. Now, you know, he's put up a lot of passing yards last year and in his career here at Rockwood, but this year not so much. They haven't thrown the ball a lot. This is really pretty right here.
That's just a little out route towards the sideline, and Hannibal gets to the outside of the coverage, and then that was all she wrote.
I would hate to be the guy having to cover Hannibal.
Ben Woodall on to attempt the extra point for the Tigers. Brackett to hold. Snap is fumbled. It's on the ground. Brackett picks it up, and he's going to be dropped. So a botched snap on the extra point leads to a sack in the backfield of Brackett, and Rockwood leads this one 6-0 over Cumberland Gap on our OEB Law Game of the Week.
Greg joined the military to serve his country and fight for freedom. He was a dedicated soldier, and during his days off, Greg enjoyed riding his motorcycle. But none of that mattered to the speeding driver who was texting and slammed into him. Greg had medical bills the insurance company refused to pay until Greg called OEB Law. When you get injured, don't expect the insurance company to put your needs first. Call OEB Law 546-1111 and turn your wreck into a check.
And welcome back into our OEB Law Game of the Week. Rockwood strikes first on a pass from Nate Brackett to Jaden Hannibal. Tigers lead it 6-0.
The bleachers are shaking. These Rockwood fans are really into the game.
I don't really feel safe with the press box shaking like that. Kickoff taken at about the 7-yard line.
Uh-oh,
for
he's got a
Cumberland
hold.
Gap. Finds a seam up the middle and finally brought down at the 34-yard line. No more than that, but that is an excellent return by Holden McDaniel.
He's got some speed, Aaron. He really cut it up in there the way you want it.
I tell you what, on kickoffs, the reason why they're so dangerous is that if you are a great specialist, you don't have any fear at all. You run full speed right up the gut, and that's exactly what he did on that play.
I'm interested to see how this Cumberland Gap offense handles this Rockwood defense because, like I stated earlier, this Cumberland Gap team hasn't faced a defense like Rockwood's in several weeks.
So, in at quarterback is Brunsma for Cumberland Gap, and he's brought down after a quarterback keeper maybe picks up 2 yards.
Not a bad job, though. If he could keep his shoulder pads a little bit lower, he might be able to pick up another extra 2. But a pretty decent run by the quarterback.
Fake the jet sweep there for taking it himself. And actually picks up 4 on the play, so it'll bring up 2nd and 6.
I'm sure you can see on the screen there's a significant size difference between the Rockwood defensive line and the Cumberland Gap offensive line.
Brunsma rolls out to his left, looks upfield, got a man. I think there was a miscommunication there.
Yeah, you had Logan Daniels, the sophomore wide receiver, streaking down the field wide open. His quarterback just didn't see him. He's the top wide receiver there.
Yeah, he's way behind that secondary of Rockwood. So a missed opportunity there for Cumberland Gap.
Rockwood has got to identify that and make that correction in the defensive backfield immediately. 10 personnel, 2 wide receivers to either side.
Here's the snap. Back to pass under a lot of pressure and sacked. Getting the sack for Rockwood is Abe Gaskins, a senior on this play, or on this Rockwood team.
The sophomore 5'9", 145-pounder came in there with the pressure that caused the sack.
And that will put Cumberland Gap in punting formation, and they'll send McDaniel out to punt this one.
If
Rockwood,
I'm Cumberland Gap here, I'm kicking it out of bounds.
They do not, but Rockwood will not return it, as quarterback Nate Brackett will allow that one to bounce by him.
You know, that's a big pet peeve of mine that I've harped on all year long.
All year long.
Yeah, you can't give up yardage. And if you let the ball hit the ground and bounce 15 yards, that's 15 yards that your offense is going to have to gain on that drive. So catch the ball, fair catch it. That way we don't have to make up more yardage.
That ball bounced at the 39, so actually Rockwood loses 12 yards.
That's
by
a
just
lot.
Not
That's a lot,
catching
and
it.
that's a difference between a touchdown and not.
So I got a Hammers 1st and 10. No misdirection this time, just coming straight out in the wing tee. And there's a handoff going up the middle. And that handoff goes to Gaskins. Short pickup. Probably about 2 yards on the play.
He was tackled by number 44, Tyler Mays, junior running back linebacker for Cumberland Gap.
Linebackers making plays for this Panther team so far.
Well, the Panther team is doing a really good job of shedding Rockwood's blocks. Rockwood is physically much bigger and stronger than them, so they're doing a good job. They're coming out in the old school 50 defense and sending a lot of edge pressure.
Brackett takes the snap, fakes the handoff, and he's under immense pressure, brought down on the play. Huge loss on a sack.
Yeah, they sent everybody. When Rockwood's sort of being a little one-dimensional, I know they had the long pass, but they've been running the ball a lot, and Cumberland Gap's just sending everybody.
Play is made at the 24-yard line, which will make it 3rd and 14.
The last time in this situation, Rockwood scored.
That's true. And an obvious passing down again for Brackett. Here's a snap. Brackett does pass it out, and that pass is complete. And trying to make some guys miss is number 4. That's Xavion Fickey.
And it's a good route because the quarterback, the wide receiver is running right where the blitz was coming from. Cumberland Gap sent 7 on that play, and Rockwood threw it where the blitz and linebacker was coming from.
Fickey was 2 yards shy, and right now the offense coming back onto the field.
Cumberland Gap has got to watch the football.
And it's a play.
Short.
And Waldo gets the pitch, and there's no gain on the play. There's a turnover on downs.
I'll tell you right now, Holden McDaniel, the cornerback, senior quarterback, came in there and made a great tackle. He got off the block.
He certainly did.
Made a good tackle. That's a great job. He's already having a major impact on this game.
Short field for Cumberland Gap. The 35-yard line of Rockwood is where they will have the Hammers 1st and 10.
If McDaniel doesn't make that play, it's a huge game.
Here's Brunsma. Handoff goes to his tailback. Pretty good pickup on the play for Logan Miracle.
Abe Gaskins in on the tackle for Rockwood.
Ball spotted at the 32, so we'll give him 3 yards. We'll make it 2nd and 7.
And they're not doing anything really fancy. Hand the ball off. Guards did a good job pulling. Created just a little bit of a seam.
Oh, thought there should have been a flag on that play, but instead, Brunsma passes it out to a wideout, Logan Daniels, and he's immediately wrapped up, and I don't think there's a gain on that play.
Dylan Garrett, 6'3", 165-pounder, came in there, made a really good secure tackle. He did a good job on that play.
And there is no gain. It will bring up 3rd and 6 for Cumberland Gap, who really needs to take advantage of this field position they have been given. So Brunsma in the backfield with Miracle. 2 wideouts to the right, 2 to the left. Brunsma back to pass. Under a lot of pressure, breaks free and throws it way downfield, and that ball is out of bounds, incomplete in the end zone. We'll bring up 4th and 6.
And Dakota Waldo's sick right now, the freshman. He had a huge sack and missed the tackle. Seen blitzing off the edge, running back went the other way, and he missed a tackle. And the quarterback did a really good job of squaring his shoulders up and giving his wide receiver an opportunity. So it wasn't a bad throw.
Really no one open at that point.
No,
you
just
don't
trying to make something happen, throw it to the back of the pylon. That way there's not an interception.
Yeah.
Give your guy the only option for the play.
Cumberland Gap obviously in a position to go for it here. 4th and 6. Brunsma drops way back to pass, like a 10-step drop before he lets it fly. And it's complete at the 10, into the end zone. Touchdown, Panthers.
Holden McDaniel again. This young man had the huge 4th down tackle, come right back and scores a major touchdown.
So Cumberland Gap answers, takes advantage of the short field.
And he had all day to throw. Rockwood has got to get some pass rush.
So,
big extra point here.
On to attempt the extra point is Drew Ramsey. Lets this one fly. That kid's got a leg. Through the uprights, it's good, and Cumberland Gap strikes back and makes the extra point and takes the lead. It's Panthers 7, Tigers 6 on your OEB Law Game of the Week. I'm going to have to take that Red Bull.
It's truck and SUV season at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. New 2019 Ford EcoSport, $17,726. New 2020 Ford Explorer XLT, $34,995. New 2019 Ford Mustang EcoBoost, $23,995. Ray Varner Ford is Ford Truck Country. New 2019 F-150 Super Crew, $30,995. New 2019 F-150 4x4, $30,995. Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. Or shops online at rayvarnerford.com.
Welcome back to our OEB Law Game of the Week. Aaron Harvey, James Gibson along for you as we bring this game to you in Week 11 playoff. Positioning on the line, the number 3 seed, Cumberland Gap, wants it, and they lead now 7-6, kicking off to Rockwood. And it's another squibber, and it bounces down to the 34-yard line, picked up, and Rockwood will have good field position as it is Dylan Garrett, a wide receiver and defensive back on this team, taking that one back. So not a bad person to handle that kickoff.
No, not at all. And I tell you, the Rockwood offensive line is going to have to do a little bit better job getting some push on this Cumberland Gap front seven. They're going to have to push them off the ball and try to get to the second level to start opening up some holes for these Rockwood quarterbacks and running backs.
Cumberland Gap came to fight.
They are. They've traveled, what, 2 hours to get here, and they're saying, hey, we're going to try to get a win here.
I don't know. It's a long way, though.
It's a long
10, Brackett, hands off to Hannibal, going around the left side. He's got some running room up to the 45. Makes a man miss, makes a second man miss, still on his feet across midfield down to about the 48-yard line. Great run by Jaden Hannibal.
He never went down. This kid will be a name that these Rockwood fans are going to hear for more years to come. I believe he's a sophomore.
He's just a sophomore. 5'6", 120, maybe soaking wet. But he reminds me a lot of like a Devon Young type.
Yeah, that type player. You're exactly right. Scat back, a guy can do a little bit of everything. Kick returns, punt returns, play a little bit of running back, play wide receiver, corner. He can do it all.
So Brackett brings his team back out, single wing, that's Hannibal. He moves in motion. Handoff goes straight up the middle, fighting for more yards. Play is blown dead, and that's Waldo. Dakota Waldo picks up a couple of yards.
Yeah, like I said earlier, Rockwood's going to have to do a little bit better job up front of getting more of a push. As you see there, Rockwood got beat up front. There's simply put.
That's big Cameron Late getting off of his block to make that tackle. And make no mistake, Cumberland Gap's got some pretty big boys up there too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But as you can tell, I believe Rockwood is sitting at the average about 260 pounds. So even though Cumberland Gap is big, Rockwood is even bigger.
Just 2 on the play clock before Brackett snaps it. Handoff goes up the middle, still fighting for running room. Spin. It's free up past the 40 to the 30, down close to the 20-yard line. And for Rockwood, that's Jack Alexander.
And Ethan Daniels with the touchdown-saving tackle there for Cumberland Gap. What a play by Rockwood. Just wanted it more. Yards after contact. He's spinning, he's pushing, he's stiff-arming, he's wanting it. That's a great job by number 3.
Alexander looking like he's got baby oil dripping off of him as nobody can get a hand on him. And in the first quarter, scoring update, Oliver Springs leads Midway 7-0. Here's Waldo. Wing T, handoff, goes straight up the middle to Waldo. I said here's Waldo. I predicted the play.
Yeah.
I meant to say bracket, but it worked out. Pretty decent game on the Hammers 1st and 10 for Waldo. A pickup of 6 will bring up 2nd and 4.
Number 77 of Cumberland Gap, Dalton Cornett, big offensive defensive lineman, senior for them. He is a good-looking ball player for them.
Handoff, Waldo again up the middle, and he's going to be close to a first down. So a scoring update, 2:11 left to go in the first quarter. Oak Ridge Wildcats, 0. Fulton Falcons, 14.
Wow, without their starting quarterback. You know, the youngins for Fulton are really starting to pick it up. They're starting to understand the game and get that experience, and you better watch out because next year Fulton's going to be tough.
So bracket under center, and we've got a flag on the play. And I think this is going to be an encroachment penalty. It is on Cumberland Gap. That's a 5-yard penalty and will be a 1st and 10 for Rockwood. So ball will be spotted at the 10-yard line, and that's where the Tigers will have the Hammers 1st and goal, actually.
Yeah, this is what this offense is made for. 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Anytime you get in a red zone, you run a wing T, it's so hard defensively to guard against. It's mismatched.
Handoff this time goes to Alexander over right guard.
And I tell you, Cumberland Gap did a really good job there getting penetration again. They're whooping Rockwood up front some, and number 44 for Cumberland Gap, big Tyler Mays, running back linebacker, in and on the play again.
Pickup of about half a yard. Ball spotted at the 9.5. Another scoring update. Gatlinburg Pittman leading over Kingston by a score of 7-0 at the end of the first. It's Coach Brian Pankey's team hanging in there.
Strength to the short side of the field.
And now Hannibal gets sent out wide. And look at Brackett. Oh, my gosh. Tries to throw to Clay Thompson. And Thompson just wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, he just released the ball a little early there, and he was getting off a defender there, and it almost fell right in his breadbasket without him even knowing it.
Watch this replay. Oh, my gosh. Thompson was wide open.
Wide open. And you
got
could
behind the defense.
I would be arguing for a pass interference on that play. A holding minimum.
So a missed opportunity for Rockwood, which now has it 3rd and goal from the 9.5-yard line. Brackett rolls to his right, under pressure, breaks it, has Hannibal wide open. Hannibal just walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Rockwood.
What a catch by Hannibal. He watched the ball into his hands and made an easy run for a touchdown. 2 receiving touchdowns so far for this young man.
Already. And so it is Hannibal who has all 12 points for Rockwood. And now Rockwood in a position where you kick the extra point, you go for 2.
I would be going for 2 here.
I think they're going to talk about it as Brackett calls for a timeout. So they'll discuss it. We've got an extra point oncoming when we get back in your OEB Law Game of the Week.
Big E's Deli and Market is now open in Rockwood at 326 North Gateway Avenue. They have both 100% gas and gas with ethanol. They are open from 6 a.m. until 11 p.m., 7 days a week. Come by and visit the new owners of Big E's. They have all types of sandwiches in the deli, plus competitive gas prices and the coldest drinks in town. That's Big E's Market, 326 North Gateway Avenue in Rockwood.
Back at your OEB Law Game of the Week as we see Coach John Webb talking to his team there. So you said you would go for 2 in this situation. Some people would say, well, it's premature. You don't really need to go for 2 just yet. Why do you make the call to go for 2 here?
Momentum. I drove right down the field. Hannibal's on fire, and I run a very good offense for this type of situation. I'm going to show my players that I've got belief in them and try to get them fired up here because they've been a little slow to start this ball game. I'm going to go for 2 and try to get some fire in them.
Coach John Webb jogs off the field. He calls the offense for this Rockwood team. So here is Brackett under center. Pitches it out to Waldo. Waldo trying to find the edge, does in 2-point conversion, succeeds. And now Rockwood leads this one 14-7. What do you think about it?
Yeah, it's a great, exactly what I was thinking. It's a good play call. Pitch it outside to your athlete.
His Brackett under center.
Pitches everyone. And the wide receivers for Rockwood did a great job blocking there. You see all 3 guys were winning the battle blocking the defenders. And that's what you look for. John Webb is a very good offensive coach. And that's why he's one of the winningest football coaches in East Tennessee.
The mayor of Rockwood and council members Steve Bryant, Jason Jolly, Shane True, Mike Fuller, Harold Holloway, and Bobby Anderson are all big fans of the Rockwood Fighting Tigers and hope they have a winning season this year so that they will be in the playoff picture, which they are. As Mayor Brillo Miller would say, go Tigers, play hard tonight, and win that number 3 seed. So the Tigers double up on Cumberland Gap, and now I can give you another scoring update. Anderson County is leading over Sequoia by a score of 27-0 already.
Yeah, I expected that one. Anderson County is one of the better teams around, and it's just a little bit too big of a ball game for Sequoia at this point in their program.
Ben Woodall on to kick this one away for Rockwood. Here's the kick.
Short kick. Trouble.
Indeed. It bounces and gets by the returner, but picks it up at the 10. Tries to find some room up the middle. Not much there. Got a scrum, and the ball is down around the 20-yard line.
Yeah, just that simple bounce on that short kick allowed him to slow down. He had to back up to get the ball, and what does that do? That you've got defenders running down the field, so that's why they didn't get back to the 20 on that, and that's a win for Rockwood.
So a Hammers 1st and 10 for Cumberland Gap. So here's another score of interest. After 1, West and Campbell County are tied at 0.
Still early in that ball game. Campbell County, they've got some really good coaches over there in the Twins, and they are always going to score some points at Campbell County.
So here's Brunsma, brings his team back up, fakes the handoff, rolls to his right, and he's going to get the ball up to about the 25-yard line. A pretty good gain on 1st down.
Really was, and if we get an opportunity for a replay here, I'd love for you to watch number 54 Rockwood, Josiah Gilbert. You see him turn the jets on there, and he's able to run down the quarterback when he's out of position. That young man is 6'3", 280 to 90 pounds, and he's a junior. He's all man.
And that is the end of the first quarter. Rockwood leading this one over Cumberland Gap 14-7 in your OEB Law Game of the Week.
All right, crew, let's get started. All right.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Make this spring all about enjoying the experience. When you ride on your new Ferris commercial mower featuring patented suspension technology, you'll have more than freshly manicured grass. You'll experience productivity and comfort like never before. And because you won't be slowing down for those rough spots, you'll mow more lawn in less time. Ferris, experience suspension.
XL Bowman & Son, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Back at the Tiger Den, Civitan Field, Rockwood leading over Cumberland Gap 14-0. Aaron Harvey, James Gibson with you as Cumberland Gap will have a 2nd and 6 situation as we begin the second quarter. Here's Brunsma, rolls out to his right. Now reverses his field, cuts it up the middle, and Brunsma is going to be stomped down at about the 20-yard line. A loss of everything he gained on first down will make a 3rd and almost 10.
And he was scrambling, trying to make something happen, and Dakota Waldo, again, Waldo. You'll hear that name a lot. He's only a freshman, guys. He's
Here's
5'8",
Brunsma.
Rolls out to his pounds, and he's only a freshman. This Rockwood squad is really young, so keep an eye on them over the next few years.
So 3rd and long for Cumberland Gap. As you see Brunsma in the backfield with Miracle. Brunsma drops back to pass, rolls to his right, looks downfield. That pass is intercepted. Going back the other direction. Going downfield, getting past the 25, down past the 20. And being slung into OEB Law's sign is Nate Brackett.
There better be a penalty on that play. No, yeah, there's a flag down.
And Brackett is slow to get up.
Yeah, that's flagrant and unacceptable. Trying to calm nerves over there. The white hat getting involved, trying to keep everybody calm.
It is funny. If you look at that OEB Law sign, it says injured, car wreck, disability. Well, that was a wreck. And I don't think that Nate Brackett is disabled, but he's maybe not as abled as he was after this late hit. Let's watch. It was a great return, and then just watch as he gets slung into our OEB Law sign. And the officials are still talking about it. They might be thinking about ejecting here.
You know, and I'm never a fan of seeing a player get ejected out of a ball game. But in that situation there, when it's such as that, you know, that's got to be addressed immediately. But number 54, Josiah Gilbert, I was just talking about him earlier, the big guy chasing down the quarterback. He's 6'3", 280 to 290 pounds. He came in there on a peel back block and absolutely laid the wood to one of the Cumberland Gap trailers. He is a special ball player. The more I watch Rockwood, the more 54 stands out to me.
And you see our white hat official talking to Cumberland Gap's coach, trying to explain to him what's going on. He doesn't look happy. I wish Mr. White Hat would tell us what's going on. Getting a good look at our chain gang, though.
I tell you.
Those guys getting some screen time.
You know, I see Rockwood team trainer down there, Chris Robinson, really working on these players. And you know, he's a huge asset for that Rockwood program. They can get their players back out there on the field in a hurry due to him. So.
All right, here we go.
After all that, it wouldn't surprise me.
All right, here we go. Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Okay. Wow. Then you got a personal foul, crackback block against Rockwood, and then you've got a personal foul, late hit out of bounds on Cumberland Gap.
So 15 yards on Rockwood.
So after all this is said and done, Cumberland Gap will retain possession of this football. And that's what the white hat is saying. And so
that's a win for Cumberland Gap.
Wow, okay. So Cumberland Gap has a 1st and 10 after all is said and done. Handoff goes up to Miracle. Miracle trying to find some running room, can't find much.
Gavin Evans coming in.
And now
strong.
we've got a fight breaking out onto the field, and that's Josiah Gilbert in the middle of all that. Young man you've been praising all night.
Got to keep your emotions in check if you want to play football.
I tell you what, though, these Rockwood players have a lot of respect for Nate Brackett. Their senior quarterback, their leader, And seeing him get thrown out of bounds like that probably made them a little testy.
Oh, yeah, and they're just letting them know that that ain't going to be acceptable here at Rockwood's home. They're standing up for their players, but you can't continue to pick up 15-yarders.
And this is becoming difficult for this officiating crew. So here's dead ball, personal foul on Rockwood. Dead ball, personal foul on Cumberland Gap. Those will offset.
And as I was mentioning there before, the penalties, Gavin Evans for Rockwood, 5'9", 195, junior, came in there really good, made a good stand-up tackle before the motion started overriding.
So after all that, these last two plays have taken about 45 minutes, it feels like. But Cumberland Gap has it, 2nd and 6 from the Panther 25-yard line. Here's Brunsma, jet sweep. And that play is going for
Ball's
more.
down.
The ball's on the ground, picked up by Rockwood, going back the other direction. And that is Fickey with the fumble recovery. And Rockwood has a huge turnover and will take over at the 20-yard line of Cumberland Gap.
Big play by Rockwood. Fickey's been all over the field tonight, Aaron. He has been a major impact on this game so far. 15 to the Waldo did a good job getting off the block, trying to keep contained, bounced him back inside. Holden.
And really, if you looked at that replay, Dylan Garrett was probably credited for causing that fumble, but it looked like to me it just was Holden McDaniel not taking care of the football.
Yeah, it was. He got a little sloppy with it. He was really making a lot of happen. That guy has been a superstar tonight already in this game, but doing a little too much.
Ironic that a guy named Holden fumbled that football, right?
Yeah.
So here's Rockwood with a Hammers 1st and 10. Handoff goes to Hannibal around the left side, breaking free, and touchdown.
Yep.
Tigers.
Nobody can run with this guy on the football field, okay? You know, just by watching him, I'm going to say 4.4 speed. He's a guy that can play any position on the field and could have a future in a defensive backfield at the next level.
So now Rockwood will attempt a point after with Ben Woodall. Remember the first time they tried this, there was a bad snap that wasn't handled by quarterback Nate Brackett. Let's see what happens this time. Snap, set, kick is blocked.
Good kick.
Wait,
no,
it wasn't blocked.
He
Sorry.
kicked that plumb through the
I missed
Harriman.
it. It's dark. My eyesight's not great, I guess. So anyway, Rockwood goes up 21-7 in the second quarter with 10:09 left to go in the half in your OEB Law Game of the Week.
Make this spring all about enjoying the experience. When you ride on your new Ferris commercial mower featuring patented suspension technology, you'll have more than freshly manicured grass. You'll experience productivity and comfort like never before. And because you won't be slowing down for those rough spots, you'll mow more lawn in less time. Ferris, experience suspension.
XL Bowman & Son, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Welcome back to the OEB Law Game of the Week. The mayor of Rockwood and council members Steve Bryant, Jason Jolly, Shane True, Mike Fuller, Harold Holloway, and Bobby Anderson, all big fans of the Rockwood Fighting Tigers. Hope they have a very successful game tonight. As Mayor Brillo Miller would say, go Tigers, play hard tonight, and win, win, win.
Brillo's got to be smiling right now. 21-7.
So, here's the kick.
Oh, got to secure the catch.
Taken around the goal line and trying to get upfield and being pummeled down at the 20-yard line. That time for Cumberland Gap was Nathan Fusen.
And Landon Watts of Rockwood, a quarterback, 5'8", 150, ninth grader, coming in with a good solid tackle.
So Hammers 1st and 10 for Cumberland Gap, coming off of that turnover. And, yeah, again, not able to handle that kickoff cleanly around the goal line. But still got up to the 20-yard line. So you got to think, if maybe he catches that on a run, then.
Oh, yeah. You know, that's what you want to see. That's what I coached. You want to have a running catch. You want to have your momentum moving forward. So you're almost full speed when you catch the ball. Now, that takes a lot of talent, but that's the difference maker in the kickoff game.
So here's Brunsma, sends a man in motion. That's McDaniel. Fakes a handoff to him and keeps it going up the middle. And a pickup of close to 5 on the Hammers 1st and 10.
Yeah, the Rockwood defensive line stood straight up and got drove off the ball. That's unacceptable. If you're a Rockwood Tiger, you got to get those pads lower. You're big, you're strong. Use it, and use it smartly by staying low to the ground. Pad leverage is everything in football.
Gets 3 on the play. Will bring up a 2nd and 7.
And again, Cumberland Gap not doing anything confusing, difficult on offense, or lining up mainly in 2x2s and running the football.
Here's Brunsma, 2 wide receivers either side. Passes out, tries to hit his wide out on that play, which was Logan Daniels, but the pass was too high and sailed out of bounds.
Yeah, and Jack Alexander, the cornerback for Rockwood, 5'9", 140, the junior, he's got to set on that a little harder. The wide receiver for Cumberland Gap did a good job of getting some separation, and he's got to stick to his hip a little bit tighter on that because he was wide open.
And then you have to make a tackle in open field, which is not easy to do.
Not easy, but it's easier if you're closer to the wide receiver on the catch.
And Brunsma, with a hard count, might have made Rockwood jump. And that's exactly what happened. So the Tigers will be penalized 5 yards, and that will make this a 3rd and a lot more manageable. Just 3 to go.
Yeah, big number 69, Jackson Kelly, 6'6", 315 pounds, not keeping his eye on the ball.
High snap for Brunsma. Able to handle it, takes it over right tackle, and probably has enough for the first down. He does. Hammers 1st and 10.
He runs hard and low, and that's a good combination for a quarterback. If you can run like that, you're going to pick up a lot of first downs.
He's an impressive-looking athlete.
He really is. He's got to settle down throwing the ball. You know, he's missed some wide-open wide receivers, which could be a difference in this game if he could have saw them or completed those passes. But he does a really good job of running the football for sure.
Here's Brunsma, sends a man in motion, fakes a handoff to him. Instead goes to Miracle up the middle, and Miracle is gang tackled after a pickup of 3.
Rockwood defense is hands on the hips a little bit. They're slowly getting winded up front, and Cumberland Gap's getting a decent push.
The Panthers will have it 2nd and 6. An interesting thing to state about Cumberland Gap. Country music fans, there's a lot of them probably tuned into this broadcast. A song made famous by Darius Rucker, Wagon Wheel, says, "I'm headed out west from the Cumberland Gap to Johnson City, Tennessee." That ain't how that works. Cumberland Gap is west of Johnson City. Just want to point that out real quick. Anyway, here's Brunsma. Fakes a handoff, drops back to pass, has a man there, caught, and that's going to be enough for a Hammers 1st and 10 again. This time hitting his wideout, Ethan Daniels.
Good throw and good catch. You know, he made the throw under duress, pressure coming straight at him, and that's a lot of man running at him right there. So he did a good job of completing that throw.
Halfway through the second quarter, Oak Ridge scores, and so now the deficit for the Wildcats is 14-7 as Fulton leads that one. And Gatlinburg-Pittman also leading over Kingston by a score of 14-7. Here's Brunsma in a pistol set now. Oh, went to hand off to his tailback who was going the other direction, and instead Brunsma has to keep it himself and picks up a yard.
Yeah, just a simple miscommunication. Running back went to the opposite side, which quarterback tried to pick up what he could.
You could see that moment where his eyes had to get really big. He was like,
uh-oh.
Whoops.
If the running back would have went the correct hole, there was a major hole there on the left side. So Coaches are probably sick to their stomach seeing that.
So here's Cumberland Gap moving the football pretty well, which is surprising because Rockwood outgained Cumberland Gap in the first quarter by, I think, 105 to 35. Here's a handoff going up the middle, and good pickup for Miracle. Gets up around midfield, and that will make it 3rd and 5.
Let's see what they elect to do. I would go ahead and assume 2x2s and probably some kind of zone read, try to get the quarterback to run around off edge.
And that's just observation from what we've seen so far.
Mm-hmm. Rockwood linebackers creeping up to the line of scrimmage.
And instead, dropping back to pass and finding his man as Brunsma gets it up ahead to Nathan Fusen.
He made a great throw there. You know, he missed that throw earlier to this side of the field, and this time going to the opposite sideline, he completes that throw. And that's against Rockwood, the best defender they have in Jaden Hannibal. So that's a really good throw and catch.
Well-timed route. Just a little comeback. And Cumberland Gap in no hurry whatsoever.
No,
just
they've
taking their
run
time.
a lot of time off this clock.
Trailing this one 21-7. And a late pitch to Miracle. And the ball's on the ground again.
Rockwood's got it.
And the Tigers have recovered.
Octavius Worthy coming in, 6'1", 195, the junior, with laying the big hit, forcing the turnover.
And it was Jack Alexander getting on top of that ball. So Worthy and Alexander combining to cause another Cumberland Gap turnover. And that was Worthy just putting his hat on it.
That's a great tackle. You know, he's 6'1", he's a big guy. When he's low to the ground, that's a lot of force he's hitting you with full speed. So he forced a fumble, and Rockwood recovered. That's a big play for this ball game because that was potentially looking like 21-14. Now Rockwood could potentially punch in another one.
Bracket, wing T formation, handoff, and getting up ahead across the 40 is Hannibal. Hannibal needs to be careful stretching that ball out like he did. So ball spotted at the 41-yard line. A pickup of 5 will bring up 2nd and 5 for Rockwood.
Taking their time.
Handoff. This time goes to Waldo around the right side. Finds some big yardage. Gets ahead to the 46 of Cumberland Gap, and that is well enough for a Hammers 1st and 10.
And I tell you, that's a good running job by him. And I'm really impressed with him just being a freshman. He's very talented. Saw a little hole, made it happen.
Great pickup by Waldo. And now the Tigers are 47 yards away from pay dirt again as we get into under 4 to go in this first half. Handoff. Goes to Waldo again. Waldo with another big chunk of yardage. Gets across the 40.
It's just great running by the running backs because the offensive line is not winning every block, I'll say that. See all the penetration there by Cumberland Gap, and he's just making plays.
And Waldo drove through that first tackle.
Brackett sending out the call.
So, a timeout. Rockwood, Coach John Webb wants to talk about it with his team. His Tigers leading over Cumberland Gap 21-7.
You don't think it'll happen to you twice. First, it was a fire. My agent was right there and helped me rebuild. Then the tornado destroyed everything, again. Both times, my independent agent and auto owners took care of me like someone takes care of family.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there.
Griffin Insurance in Kingston is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
Out of the timeout, here's Brackett looking way downfield. Has a man there, and that pass is tipped and incomplete. As you enter into our OEB Law Game of the Week again, trying to find Owen Heil that time.
Number 8, Kenny Vaughn, running back DB, 11th grader, did a really good job in coverage, breaking that pass up. But we do have a penalty on the play.
And it's going to be a holding on the Panthers. I didn't actually see the flag. But look at this pass by Brackett. Whew, great coverage.
Really was, but we didn't see the holding. It must have took place a little bit earlier in the play.
So it was Kenny Vaughn on the coverage. He had great coverage on the play. Oh, okay, so it happened up here, not where the ball was thrown. That was great coverage by Vaughn to knock that play away. But, byproduct of the penalty, we have a Hammers 1st and 10 for Rockwood. Wing T set, sends a man in motion.
Cumberland Gap with no safety help.
Pitch goes to Waldo. Waldo finds the edge, gets it across the 20, and ridden down at the 16-yard line. And hopping on Waldo's back is Ethan Daniels. That's a strategy. We have another flag. This is a holding going against Rockwood.
Any of those outside plays, you sometimes see a lot of holding because of the outside run, and you get overextended and your hands get out. I didn't see it there.
I didn't see one either.
But there must have been. You know, me being a defensive coach and hearing all these offensive coaches, you know, there is holding on every play. And, you know, you always hear the defenders complaining about it. When you get in college, it's just part of the game.
I'm not sure where it was, but here's a handoff going to Waldo around the right side, and Waldo is stuffed after a pickup of maybe 2.
Cumberland Gap is doing a really good job of flowing to the football and not allowing those cutback runs of the running backs of Rockwood. Let's see if we can get more of a counter play. If you could run a reverse on this squad, you might catch a big play.
Offensive coordinator is also the head coach of this Rockwood Tiger team. That's John Webb. This time got a single wing to the right and 2 wideouts that direction as well. Low snap to Brackett, handles it, looks downfield, fires all the way across the field. He's got Hannibal.
What a catch.
And Hannibal lays out for it. Hammers 1st and goal, Rockwood.
What a play. Brackett threw it to where he could only catch that ball, and Hannibal outruns everybody and makes an awesome catch.
Look at this. It wasn't the best throw in the world, but that is a long traveling ball, and Hannibal lays out for that. What a play.
Great play. Great throw and catch, and those two have done that 100 times. You know, and Brackett knew, throw the ball deep, let his speedster run under it, let's not get an interception, and that was a great strategy.
So here's Brackett. Handoff goes straight up the middle. And we've got under a minute to play as Abe Gaskins gets the carry that time.
50 seconds left. Rockwood hurrying up.
Ball spotted at around the 2, second and goal.
Look for a quarterback sneak.
Brackett, handoff, Gaskins, dives, does not get in.
Better call timeout.
Stopped at about the 1, and Rockwood will elect to take a timeout. As we see this replay, Gaskins just tries to dive over the line and is stopped on the play. So Rockwood trying to tack another one on. However, they're going to talk about this one with a lead, 21-7. With just 34 seconds left to go. Hey, ice cold beverages and all your tobacco needs can be found at one place in Rockwood. Yes, and it's located in Rockwood on Gateway Avenue. Yes, you guessed it, Smoking Joe's. They're located next to B&O Motors. If you're traveling south, it's on the right. If you're traveling north, it's on your left. If you're traveling up, you're going to miss it. That's Smoking Joe's, Gateway Avenue in Rockwood. We thank Smoking Joe's. We thank OEB Law. We thank all of our sponsors, including Oak Ridge Utility District, Evansmore, Harriman Utility Board, Ray Varner Ford, and more. Oliver Springs at halftime leads at Midway 14-7.
Wow. Big game down there. It's at Oliver Springs. Wow. That's Midway's, they're going to put up a fight. Treadway, he's got some players down there.
Nate Brackett, handoff. Gaskins again gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Rockwood.
That's a big play for Rockwood to punch one in with 30 seconds left on the game before halftime. That's a major impact on that team, that Cumberland Gap team, going into the halftime.
And I said Abe Gaskins. It was Abe Gaskins. Instead of going up the middle that time like they tried 2 times in a row, this time he went off tackle and got in there. As you see the confetti flying in the air, and the extra point is up. They like it. It's good. Rockwood leads this one 28-7 with just 34 seconds left in your OEB Law Game of the Week.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
Bryson's Closet.
Welcome back to Civitan Field. It's your OEB Law Game of the Week. Rockwood leads this one 28-7. Wasn't that long ago the Tigers trailed it 7-6, but they've come back firing.
How many touchdowns does Hannibal have now? Is that 3?
Now he's got 2.
2 touchdowns. The pass earlier. Okay, he didn't
2
score.
passes.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, he didn't score on that long one. It was Gaskins that got it in. So here's the kickoff.
Short kick.
It is short end over ender and taken at the 31 and run over.
And guess who? You know who.
Hannibal.
Ficky.
Oh.
Yeah, Ficky in on the tackle. He's been all over the field. Mr. Football tonight for the Rockwood Tigers. He came flying down that field with a lot of heart and passion and made a big tackle.
Well, don't mislead me like that next time. You almost feel bad for Bryson Ellis of Cumberland Gap for having caught that ball.
Yeah, he didn't have much of an idea what to do with that ball.
It looked like he got hit by a train.
He did. And that's a player that probably never hardly touches the football on offense. So, hey, next time he might want to fair catch that ball.
Yeah, just wave that hand in the air. That's all he's got to do. Hammers 1st and 10 with 28 ticks left. I expect Cumberland Gap to be aggressive.
Rockwood in a prevent type of defense.
And we've got a delay of game to start this drive.
The fastest clock I've ever saw.
Well, and you know, like these quarterbacks, because every Roane County field has a play clock in the back of either end zone, all the quarterbacks that play here in Roane County have the benefit of seeing that play clock.
Well, it's actually statewide now. Every field in the state of Tennessee has a play clock where it's supposed to.
Handoff goes to Miracle, and nothing do it, and I'd say that's probably going to be the last play of this first half. So Cumberland Gap will get the ball to start the second half. And I think they're just going to take this 21-point deficit into the locker room.
Another freshman in on the tackle there, Gerald Hannibal, 5'6", 205 pounds, and I believe he's the younger brother of number 1.
And that's going to do it for the first half. The Tigers fight and claw and take a 28-7 lead into halftime in your OEB Law Game of the Week.
Meg.
And I'm Nikki.
And this is our Scoreboard Snack Attack. And today we are making delicious apple pie cups.
So this recipe is super easy, just a few ingredients that you'll need. 1 can of Pillsbury cinnamon rolls with the buttercream icing. We're going to use that later on top when they're done. 1 1/3 cups of fruit apple pie filling, so this size can will be perfect. And then we have some extra cinnamon here just to sprinkle on before we put them in to bake.
You're going to get these out of the jar and then just kind of roll them out just a little bit, just to get them a little flat.
A little rolling pin action.
Oh.
So while Meg is doing that, I'm just going to remind everybody that if you're in the middle of a home renovation, or if it's something you've been thinking about for a while, we would love to have you come down and check out our new renovated showroom here at ORUD. We sell and install appliances. We can kind of be your one-stop shop for your home project needs. You can purchase your appliance from us. You can finance it through us at 0% interest and just make payments on your gas bill each month. And we can install it and inspect it for you too. So don't wait to get that going. We'll help you out.
Do you want to spray the muffin pan with
Sure.
pan for me?
Thank you, Brad.
Ah!
I'm going to do it over here off camera so it doesn't spray everything.
Next step, you're going to put these in the muffin pan and kind of push them down so they make kind of like a cup.
Okay, and then once you get all of them done, I do a scoop.
You're going to do about 1 scoop.
Once you have those all lined in the little cups, we're going to take a scoop. Just going to kind of eyeball it here of the apple pie. Oh, look at that. Made a little mess. And fill in the cups. Do we need more, Meg?
Nope, I think you're good.
Okay, Meg's a much better cook than me, so we're leaning on her expertise this year. We'll put a little more in that one.
And this is personal preference. The recipe doesn't call for cinnamon, but I like to add a little extra for flavor.
Perfect. Smells like fall in here, which makes us think about football. We're so excited about these scoreboard snack attacks.
All right, we gotta stick it in the oven. That's heated up to 350, about 12 minutes. We just took these out of the oven so they are nice and warm, but since there are apples on top, it would be hard to spread that frosting. So you can take your frosting, stick it in a bag, snip the bottom, and it makes it really easy to coat the top.
Let's taste. Good. Very good. I'm not a huge apple fan, but these are perfect. So don't forget, you can find this recipe and all of our Scoreboard Snack Attack recipes on our website at orud.org. This has been your Scoreboard Snack Attack.
And welcome back to our OEB Law Game of the Week. Homecoming going on the field right now, and we finally got a little bit of chill in the air that made it seem like late season football. And as soon as we get that, really, last week it was rainy, it was really messy and all, but you know, we finally get that chill in the air, and then they decide that they want to have homecoming here at Rockwood. So these young ladies dressed really nice in their formal dresses, and you know they've got to be freezing to
Oh, they
death.
are. You know they are. You can see her jaw shaking from here. You know what I really like is how the fathers escort the homecoming candidates. I really like that. We have that to look forward to in, 10 years?
Well, you think maybe they do that because
it frees up football players.
It frees up football players.
You know, I never, as a coach, we never liked homecoming because things get emotional throughout the week. Players get their minds off things. You know, you got football players sitting out there, and you're not being coached up in the halftime. So that's why a lot of schools will try to schedule cupcakes for homecoming games because you're so distracted throughout the week.
And sometimes you don't have a choice of who you play on your homecoming. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But this game matters. You say, you know, you want to schedule. You want to have a schedule an opponent you think that you can defeat. But this game is for playoff seeding.
And it's the last game of the year. It's an odd time for homecoming, and having senior night and homecoming all in the same night is unique. But Rockwood always putting on a good show down here.
You think John Webb went up to all these young ladies individually and said, "You're bringing your dad. Don't talk to my football players. This game matters. It's important. Have them wear a suit and tie, and your dad is doing this for you."
You know, I love it. I love the dads coming out here and you know, representing their daughters well. It's a good scene.
So my daughter, Avalee Jordan, is 6, and so maybe what? I mean, I really don't want to think about it, but we've got, what, 9 years away?
Yeah, 9 years there.
Wow.
You'll be marching out there.
Maybe, if, you know, they do it like this.
This Rockwood band, though, they've been outstanding all year long. You know, you can't say enough about these bands in Roane County. Almost every program here in Roane County has a outstanding band, such as Roane County High School over in Kingston. I filled an almost 100-person band. Rockwood, smaller 2A school, has a big band for a 2A size school. So bands are a huge part of high school football in Roane County. Has been for decades.
So it is halftime here at our game. Rockwood leading over Cumberland Gap by a score of 28-7. And I thought Rockwood would have the advantage in this game, but the score at halftime, 28-7, is surprising.
It's
to
a
me.
little misleading, too, a little bit. There's been some turnovers and things. I know the offensive production of Rockwood's been a lot higher than them, but I'd say coming out of halftime here, you might have a little bit more of a competitive ball game. Rockwood trying to get coached up in there and get that offensive line fired up to get a better push in this second half.
Okay, so one more question. I want to go back to this, and I hate to keep harping on homecoming, even though we're seeing all these candidates. This is a lot of homecoming candidates, by the way. I think when we went to school, there was one for each grade level. But anyway, let me digress a little bit. So in halftime, you want to be able to talk to your players, and if you have a football player, you know, having the arm of each one of these homecoming candidates, they do miss something at halftime. What are you talking to your players about in the locker room?
Well, you're making halftime adjustments. You know, you've got your coaches in the press box, and they in the press box, you get a better view of what is actually going on schematically. And you go to halftime to make those adjustments. Hey, guys, when we run this particular play, they're lining up like this. So we're going to come back and run this. So, you know, you make those corrections at halftime and make some adjustments defensively and offensively. And you want everybody on the same page of that. So when you have homecoming, you know, you got your best players, which are mainly your seniors, out there escorting candidates for homecoming, and they're not making those adjustments in the locker room with you. So it has an effect.
Now, we will point this out because it has been a parent that has come out with all of these young ladies until right now, because you've got a player for Rockwood. It's David Collett. But you've also got quarterback Nate Brackett on the sidelines. right now. You've also got Eli Grant on the sidelines, and you've also got Abe Gaskins. So not every candidate has a football player, but you do have a few football players on the field. So there are some having to miss that halftime pep talk.
There are, and I believe there's 15 potential candidates for homecoming for Rockwood, which is more than I've ever saw anywhere I've ever been. But that brings a lot of revenue into these programs. Each of these candidates probably have been raising money for several weeks, potentially all season long, to win this. And sometimes that money, most of the time, is allocated to programs within the school. So that's huge. And for them to have 15 candidates, think about how much money they've potentially raised for Rockwood High School.
And that would be 15 football players not going to the locker room. So maybe that's why they do it like this.
Yeah.
Maybe they have the parents come in. I've not seen that before.
I haven't either.
And I have seen
Rockwood homecoming I saw was about 1996, so I'm unfamiliar with it as well.
So we do have a note here, and this is courtesy of the Independent Herald. They're saying if current scores hold, then next week's playoff matchups would be Cumberland Gap as the number 4 seed at number 1 Hampton, Rockwood as the number 3 seed at number 2 South Green, number 3 Sullivan North going to Oneida, and Happy Valley going to Meigs County. So that would be a look at it if everything holds up. It would be a big second half for Cumberland Gap if they were able to come back and win this football game, being down 3 scores at halftime. I have seen crazier things, and I have seen crazier things live. So it could happen. And both teams are making adjustments, trying to clean some stuff up. So we'll have to see what happens there. But I would say that this one is probably going to hold. So then you just have to wonder what the Region 1 is going to do.
Yeah, if Cumberland Gap came out and scored 3 straight touchdowns against a Rockwood defense, I'm going to be flabbergasted, as is probably most of the viewers that's watching this. Let's see how they handle that, because that's pretty demoralizing there right before half. So let's see what happens.
The Panthers will get the ball to start the second half, and we do have a homecoming queen, a new homecoming queen. It's an exorbitant amount.
A great word usage there, by the way, Aaron.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're right. They've spent a lot of money here. But, again, this is Roane County football. This is an event down here, and when you have the tradition such as Rockwood High School, winning the state championship in 1976 and being to the playoffs basically every year since 1970. They've got an overall playoff record of 25-21. Modern era record since 1969. They are 330-24. Record since 1946. They are 441-330 with 11 ties. Rockwood's been playing football a long time. They've had great coaches down here for many years. A lot of talented players that's went on.
Is what the weather is saying right now. So it's
dropping quick.
Yeah, it's chilly to say the least. So this is our OEB Law Game of the Week. It is halftime between these two programs. 28-7 is your score from Civitan Field. And let's get a break after we hear the Rockwood band play.
Meet Jack. He was a happy guy until he got hurt in a car wreck that wasn't his fault. The insurance company seemed friendly enough, and they made him an offer. Turns out it was less than he needed. But how was he supposed to know? Seems like the insurance company was looking out for themselves. But no one is looking out for Jack. If you get hurt in a car accident, don't be like Jack. Make the smart choice. Call OEB Law and turn your wreck into a check. 546-1111.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
It's nothing personal. It's just business.
Hello?
That's how some people do things.
Right away.
To us, everything we do is personal. Because anyone can answer the call. It's who shows up that matters most. That's the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them.
Griffin Insurance is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
It's truck and SUV season at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. New 2019 Ford EcoSport, $17,726. New 2020 Ford Explorer XLT, $34,995. New 2019 Ford Mustang EcoBoost, $23,995. Ray Varner Ford is Ford Truck Country. New 2019 F-150 Super Crew, $30,995. New 2019 F-150 4x4, $30,995. Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. Or shops online at rayvarnerford.com.
Bryson's Closet, a storehouse of hope, is a nonprofit organization providing clothing and housewares to the financially disadvantaged of Anderson, Roane, and Morgan counties. Bryson's Closet makes this possible with their thrift store that is located at 350 North Illinois Avenue in Oak Ridge. Bryson's Closet is open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Please visit Bryson's Closet to donate, shop, or even volunteer. Bryson's Closet, a storehouse of hope. Big E's Deli and Market is now open in Rockwood at 326 North Gateway Avenue. They have both 100% gas and gas with ethanol. They are open from 6 a.m. until 11 p.m., 7 days a week. Come by and visit the new owners of Big E's. They have all types of sandwiches in the deli, plus competitive gas prices and the coldest drinks in town. That's Big E's Market, 326 North Gateway Avenue in Rockwood.
All right, crew, let's get started. Kurt?
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
I am a simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a simplicity dealer.
S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
1952. That's the year Hammers opened the first store in East Tennessee. Now there are 5 stores and there's always something new. Like in Hammers' popular ladies boutique department, you'll find the lowest price possible on new arrivals every week. Find similar deals in the men's department and the expanded rug department. Plus, special purchases always offer surprise savings. You never know what you'll find next at Hammers.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak, it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Welcome back to Civitan Field. It is halftime, and the horn just sounded, so halftime is over. Cumberland Gap, Rockwood both made their way out onto the field, and you see that sign there at the concession stand. It says Freeze Pops. Who's buying Freeze Pops?
As you see people wearing blankets waiting in line to get their hot chocolate.
It's 39 degrees outside, and look at this lady to the left. She's wearing sandals. What is wrong with you? I'm sorry. I shouldn't call anybody out. It's all for fun. It's all for fun. 28-7 is your halftime score as Rockwood leads over Cumberland Gap. So let's say, as we're putting more time up on the clock because of all the halftime festivities, we're going to put 3 minutes back onto the clock. But look at these halftime stats. Okay, let's go over these real quick. Rockwood with 7 first downs to Cumberland Gap's 4. 98 rushing yards, pretty decent for Rockwood, to 36 for Cumberland Gap. Passing yards, 90 for Rockwood. So Rockwood balanced yardage-wise, which is interesting because they do run that wing T as well as they do. 188 total yards to 77 for Cumberland Gap. But here's the big one. The Panthers have 2 turnovers and 5 penalties for 35 yards. But other than that, it really doesn't seem like it should be the score that it is.
Well, Cumberland Gap early in the game started with some really good field position. Late in the game, they kind of lost their wind. Rockwood was starting to get the momentum. So coming out of the second half, let's see if Cumberland Gap made any quality changes at halftime to try to expose some things on defense of Rockwood.
So watching this game from a coaching perspective, which I know you watch every play as if you were analyzing it from a coaching perspective, what do you think Cumberland Gap needs to do better in the second half?
They need to throw the football more down the field. You're down big, so you're going to have to throw. Let's try to take advantage of some mismatches that you might have, but you've got to have some time. Rockwood hasn't had a lot of pass rush in this game. Every time we've covered Rockwood, they never do get a lot of pass rush out of that defensive line unless they send linebacker help. So that could be an opportunity for Cumberland Gap to try to spread the field more. They know their quarterback will have time, so throw the ball down the field, stretch it out a little bit, take some risks, and let's see if they can't come back here a little bit.
The mayor of Rockwood and council members Steve Bryant, Jason Jolly, Shane True, Mike Fuller, Harold Holloway, and Bobby Anderson are all big fans of the Rockwood Fighting Tigers and hope they have a successful game tonight and get that number 3 seed in the TSSAA playoffs. As Mayor Brillo Miller would say, go Tigers, play hard tonight, and win, win, win. Also, you can get ice-cold beverages and all your tobacco needs can be found at one place in Rockwood. Yes, it's located in Rockwood on Gateway Avenue, in fact, and you guessed it, it's Smoking Joe's. They're located next to B&O Motors. If you're traveling south, it's on the right. If you're traveling north, it will be on your left. If you're traveling up, you're going to miss it. Smoking Joe's, Gateway Avenue in Rockwood. This is our OEB Law Game of the Week. Call 865-546-1111 or go to reckontoacheck.com to find out what OEB Law can do for you. And it's been a great season with OEB Law. We've seen Tim Elrod onto the field between the first and second quarters 3 times this season, giving $1,000 checks to teams. They don't actually, Elrod doesn't give them to the teams. He gives them to the schools so that the schools can use that money for academic purposes. And very, very happy to have OEB Law on board with us this season.
Yeah, such high-quality individuals over there, and they do so much for this East Tennessee community. And, you know, guys, if you're having any issues, you need to give them a call, and they will be able to help you or point you in a direction that will help you.
Any issues, personal injury, SSD, low-cost agreed divorce, workers' compensation, criminal defense, wills, medical malpractice, nursing home neglect, bad drugs, or medical devices. It's just some of the ways OEB Law can help you. Go to reckontoacheck.com for more information. So getting ready to kick off for Rockwood is, again, Ben Woodall. And we are getting ready to begin the second half. As the kickoff, it's an onside kick, and it is recovered by Cumberland Gap, but pretty gutsy call to start this second half.
Really was. Ethan Thomas came in clutch there for Cumberland Gap, recovering the football, starting with some really good field position. So now let's see if you have some time to throw the ball and try to get it down the field a little bit and continue to run that quarterback run, that zone read option that they run.
Interesting call there.
It was
with
very
a 21-point lead, and now Cumberland Gap has a short field with just 51 yards to go to get into the end zone.
Unique for John Webb, I would say. You know, that's an interesting play call.
So Caden Brunsma brings his team back onto the field. Logan Miracle in the backfield with him on a Hammers 1st and 10, and pitch goes out wide, and that is to McDaniel. And he gets across the 45 of Rockwood, and he's out of bounds. Pretty good gain on first down.
It's a good play call. You know, you stretch the field. You make the big defenders of Rockwood have to chase down a play all the way to the sidelines. Guess what that does? That gasses the defenders. So it should start to open up some running holes and get that big defensive line to stand up a little bit more to give your offensive line a little bit of help.
6-yard gain, 2nd and 4. Ball spotted at the 45 of Rockwood. So Brunsma has his play call. 2 wide receivers either side. Handoff just goes to Miracle. Miracle finding some running room up the middle. Pickup of about 3 will make it 3rd and short.
Good hard run by him. He really lowered the head hard. And big number 54, Rockwood, Josiah Gilbert, took the brunt end of that hit.
Yeah, he did. And he was a little slow to get up, as you see on the replay there.
How you run the football, low to the ground. I don't care how big you are. The low man's always going to win. So he made him pay for that.
You said it earlier, pad leverage is everything. So on 3rd and 1, Brunsma in the shotgun, fakes a handoff, takes it himself around the right side, and
it's close.
I think he's got it.
It looks it, but it is close.
It is a Hammers 1st and 10 for Cumberland Gap. Boy, he's a load.
He is, and he runs hard and low. He's going to make you pay for tackling him.
He's got a good arm as a quarterback, too. He's a good-looking player.
He is. He is.
Brunsma gets his play call again. This time he sends 2 wideouts, 3 wideouts to his left, 1 to the short side of the field, and fakes a handoff. Looks like another broken play as he just has to move forward and get what he can out of that one.
Miscommunication. I don't know what happened there, and I don't think he knows what happened there. So they're going to have to get that fixed if they plan on trying to make a comeback against a very talented Rockwood team.
Yeah, that play.
You had guys run blocking, you had guys pass blocking. Total mess from the get-go.
Yeah. That play had a popsicles chance and Dante's Inferno. 2nd and 9.
Rockwood sending some pressure up the middle. He comes free, picked up.
And here is a throw out to McDaniel, and it is dropped right through his fingertips. Pretty good throw that time.
Good throw. Hit him in the hands. Wide receiver did a good job of just getting an attempt on the ball. And now you have Logan Miracle slow to get up.
And that's not good for Cumberland Gap, because even though they haven't used Miracle a whole lot tonight,
he's been huge for this team.
He has. And he's a
great
great runner.
He's been in that program for 4 years, so you hate to see somebody go down. Looks like a potential shoulder.
We'll know more when we get back.
Meet Jack. He was a happy guy until he got hurt in a car wreck that wasn't his fault. The insurance company seemed friendly enough, and they made him an offer. Turns out it was less than he needed. But how was he supposed to know? Seems like the insurance company was looking out for themselves. But no one is looking out for Jack. If you get hurt in a car accident, don't be like Jack. Make the smart choice. Call OEB Law and turn your wreck into a check. 546-1111.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
It's nothing personal. It's just business.
Hello?
That's how some people do things.
Right away.
To us, everything we do is personal. Because anyone can answer the call. It's who shows up that matters most. That's the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them.
Griffin Insurance is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
It's truck and SUV.
All right, back at our OEB Law Game of the Week. Miracle walks off the field. And so, of course, we don't want to speculate, but I believe my cohort, James Gibson, was correct in saying that it's probably an arm injury of some sort, maybe a shoulder. So 3rd and long for Cumberland Gap, 3rd and 9 to be exact. Here's Brunsma, drops straight back to pass, sets up the screen, and that pass is complete. And across the 35, down to about the 34-yard line, that will be shy of a first down, but Cumberland Gap is going to go for it here.
It's a good play call there. Picked up a big chunk of yardage on it.
And we've got a stoppage in play, and it's
equipment malfunction.
Okay, so that means Jack Alexander is going to have to come out of this game.
And I don't expect Miracle to be back in this game tonight.
4th and 4. Brunsma drops back to pass, looks left, has a man there. That pass is complete. Across the 30, across the 25, still on his feet, across the 20, and steps out of bounds. Actually, a long time ago. I didn't see that, but they're going to mark him out at about the 24, it looks like.
Logan Daniels, number 24, the sophomore, making a really good catch. Ooh.
Okay, yeah, I saw where the official marked him out. We can't see because it looks like Coach Webb is in the way.
But it's right in front of the official, so you know he stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, that's going to be the correct call. Ooh.
Defensive back got to do a little bit better job breaking down and making a solid tackle.
Hammers 1st and 10. Brunsma fakes a pass under immense pressure. Now looks upfield. He's got a man there. That pass is incomplete.
Hannibal jumps 6 foot in the air to break that ball up. And he just threw that up for a prayer. Double coverage. Just trying to get rid of the football.
Pump fakes to the left. No one there. And then he's under pressure. Has to unload. That ball actually, if he had thrown that to the outside, maybe his receiver would have had a chance at that, Nathan Fusen. But as it stands, Hannibal able to make a great play on that one. So 2nd and 10.
Now remember, you have a backup running back in the game providing pass protection.
Brunsma passes it out. That
Good
pass is
throw.
complete.
What a throw.
Great throw, great tackle, and another slow to get up player that time is Ethan Daniels, but that was a tremendous throw.
Squares up a little bit, makes a perfect throw to where his wide receiver is the only guy that can make the catch. Now, he's made that throw 2 or 3 times tonight.
Yeah, and Fickey tried making a play on the ball, but didn't get there.
No, the coverage was good.
Yeah, and that results in a 1st and goal from the 9-yard line.
If I'm Cumberland Gap, I'm looking Holden McDaniel here.
And instead, Brunsma will keep it and gets nothing but leveled. Lost one, in fact.
Rockwood subbing in the Hog Mollies.
Rockwood subbing in the what?
Hog Mollies, the bigs.
Hog Mollies.
Hog Mollies.
That's some football jargon right there.
Uh-huh.
Do you know the origin of that?
No, I don't. That's a good question.
I haven't heard that one before. But 2nd and goal from the 10-yard line for Cumberland Gap. 2 wide receivers either side. And there's
ready.
A fumble on the play and a flag on the play. This is going to be an offsides. And Cumberland Gap's lucky that's an offsides.
False start.
So that will back Cumberland Gap up 5 yards. But again, if the officials don't blow that one dead, you've got a fumble on the play.
10, 12-yard loss there.
Yeah, it's ugly. So as it stands, Cumberland Gap gets to keep the down. It's still 2nd down, and they only lose 5 yards instead of more than that. So you got a 2nd goal situation here for the Panthers, but they are far away from 6 points.
Holden McDaniel, key on him.
Here's Brunsma, fires in the end zone. That pass is intercepted, but he was out of bounds. Making a play on that was Fickey again.
Fickey has been all over the field tonight. He is a very good ball player. Again, just a sophomore.
A great play on that ball. Pretty Fickey out there. So there's our OEB Law sign. 865-546-1111. And again, very happy to have OEB Law on board with us all season long. It's sad that this regular season is coming to an end tonight. I've had so much fun this season. So here's Brunsma. Fakes a handoff under pressure again and lets it fly. Has a man there again and through the fingertips of his intended target, which was Nathan Fusen. And that will bring up 4th and goal from the 16-yard line.
Just trying to make something out of nothing. Getting pressure. Rockwood's done a great job of getting pressure in the second half, and that's probably from a defensive adjustment at halftime. So they're getting after the quarterback, and he's having to get rid of the ball in a hurry.
Not a badly thrown ball there.
No, he gave his wide receiver an opportunity to come down with a catch. And you can't ask much more of a quarterback whenever you're running for your life and you have to make the throw off your back foot.
Big 4th down here, 2 wide receivers either side. Straight drop over the middle. Pass is incomplete. Turnover on downs. Trying to hit Ethan Daniels that time, but not a bad thrown ball. Not a badly thrown ball.
And he was wide open.
But if he catches that, I don't think he makes it into the end zone.
But it's a first.
No. That was 4th and goal. So he wouldn't have had an opportunity for a first down.
Right.
But so Rockwood takes over at the 16-yard line.
And I'm sure you're fixing to get a big dose of John Webb football. Control the ball, run it, 3 yards, cloud of dust. Try to punch one in here.
That drive by Cumberland Gap took up half of the 3rd quarter. Here's Gaskins up the middle. Not much there on Hammer's 1st and 10.
And I've called this young man's name several times tonight. Number 44, Tyler Mays, running back linebacker, junior for Cumberland Gap, coming in with another solid tackle.
Yeah, and really had a paw on that football, so Gaskins did a great job holding on to it.
Yeah, Cumberland Gap's going to be, hopefully, they're going to be swiping at the ball from this point moving forward, trying to force a turnover.
Here's Brackett, brings his team up in the wing T set. Handoff goes to Waldo around the right side. Finds some running room and runs into his own player, but gets down about the 23-yard line. A good pickup of about 7 on that play.
Yeah, you ran right into an offensive lineman. What you want to see out of an offensive lineman is not watching the play. You want them to be focusing on the next danger, and he's kind of trailing behind. He needs to put his head upfield and stop watching the play. Find the next dangerous man.
That's Coach Gibson being Coach Gibson. I know it bothers you. You want to go down there and tell that young man that.
Absolutely.
So, on third down, Waldo gets the carry up the middle, and he's stuffed. That'll bring up fourth down.
Waldo's lucky to hold on to that ball because there was a defender right in his face as soon as he was getting the ball. He's lucky he didn't fumble. And again, that's number 44, Tyler Mays, in the backfield wreaking havoc for Cumberland Gap.
Great player for Cumberland Gap.
He is. He is a very good defender. You know, he caught the ball down here on the return team and got smacked. So he's been all over making plays for Cumberland Gap.
Just a junior for this program. I know Cumberland Gap's excited to be able to have him back for a senior year. And again, here's Rockwood possibly going for it on 4th and 2. No, they don't go for it.
I was going to say.
Trying to draw Cumberland Gap off sides. The Panthers don't bite on it. It'll be 4th down and a punting situation coming up when we get back on our OEB Law Game of the Week.
Meet Jack. He was a happy guy until he got hurt in a car wreck that wasn't his fault. The insurance company seemed friendly enough, and they made him an offer. Turns out it was less than he needed. But how was he supposed to know? Seems like the insurance company was looking out for themselves. But no one is looking out for Jack. If you get hurt in a car accident, don't be like Jack. Make the smart choice. Call OEB Law and turn your wreck into a check. 546-1111.
Out of the timeout, bracket and punting formation, high wobbly spiral. Comes down at the 41-yard line, takes a Rockwood bounce, and lands dead at the Cumberland Gap 32, and that's where the Panthers will have it with a Hammers 1st and 10.
Again, special teams having a major impact on this game. If on the punt, beautiful kick, but that should have been a penalty. That's running into the kick. Yep, that's a first down Rockwood. But you got to catch the ball on punts and kickoffs. That ball bounced a good 12, 10 yards, which cost the Cumberland Gap offense. So you got to catch the ball and tighten up on special teams.
And I know that's the first time you've said that this season because other players have done such a great job of that all season long. That's sarcasm. So here is Brunsma, 2 wide receivers either side. Fakes a handoff, and now he rolls out to pass, sends a man upfield, and that pass is going to be intercepted if he stays in bounds.
And he did.
He does. Nate Brackett. How many times have we seen the quarterback eat the lunch of the opposing team's quarterback?
I'll tell you, Nate Brackett last year, he was one of their better defenders. He is a guy that plays a quarterback position. He's reading the quarterback eyes right there. He knows there's only 2 options he's got. Easy interception.
And a beautiful play by Brackett. If you saw him on that replay from that safety position, and then just wonderfully, just gets a foot down. That's all he's got to do. Stays in bounds. And the whole way, you had it right. Just reading the quarterback the entire way and able to make a play on that football. So now it brings up a Hammers 1st and 10. 2 backs in the backfield for Rockwood. And a fumble, almost. It's a bobble. And Brackett goes down on one knee.
And I'll tell you right now, that started with the nose guard of Cumberland Gap. He was fired up after that turnover. He came in there with a vengeance and really knocked the center back into the quarterback, which caused the fumble.
And now we have a late flag. I'll be curious to see what that was. I saw some frustration.
Very much so from the Rockwood offensive line, so it looks like it might be on Rockwood.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct on Rockwood. So we won't know what happened there.
No, but I can tell you when you get manhandled like you just did right there on the offensive line, emotions are probably running a little bit high there.
Oh, we do see what happened. Yeah, whoever got the handoff, which I think was Waldo. Let's see. Yeah, it's Waldo. If you watch here at the end of this play, Waldo gets up. He's frustrated, and he just throws the ball too hard at the official, and that's an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. And that backs Rockwood way up. That's after the play, after the loss of yards because Brackett was down on a knee, and now the ball is spotted at the 36, and we've got a timeout on the field. I think Coach John Webb wants to talk about this second and very, very long.
2nd and 28.
And Coach Webb is having a teaching moment for Waldo and actually has taken Waldo out of the football game, and he's still barking at his talented freshman.
Well, you know, kids sometimes they don't understand when you're talking to them. What they do understand is standing beside of you on the sidelines when the play's going on. So sometimes it's better for a younger player to get over there beside their coach and take some coaching and learn from that moment. But he's an outstanding football player, has a very bright future, and he'll learn from that.
2nd and 28 is what my math has come up with. Pretty long. 2 backs in the backfield, 1 wing back for Rockwood as they set up the screen pass, and it's complete, getting upfield a little bit, but you've got flags on the play, and this one's going to be coming back. That time the pass was complete to Alexander.
Looks to be on Rockwood, but let's see.
Oh, yeah, it's a hold. You know how I know that?
Did you see it?
No, but Brad Jones did.
They're definitely taking their time talking about it, which I like to see.
You want to get it right. You can see the breaths because of this wonderful high-definition picture you've got here.
Explaining to Coach Webb.
All right, so you've got a holding.
On the defense? On a run play?
It wasn't a run play.
Okay.
It was a screen pass. But even still, let's see if we can see it.
There's the hold.
That's interesting. Really hard to see. And so let's see where they threw the flag. And then you'll have a 10-yard penalty from that spot. And now all of a sudden, but if you pause it here, you see a hold there by Rockwood's 54, which is Josiah Gilbert. Look at that.
But the holding call was on Cumberland Gap, probably on a wide receiver, which is, you know, that's what they're doing. They're blocking. They're faking a run.
Right.
So they're going to be blocking. So
Yeah.
the defender has to get off of that.
Right.
Normally you'll never see that called on a screenplay.
Yeah, so interesting call there as Brackett's back to pass.
He's got
looks way downfield,
he's got him.
And he's got beautiful play on the football that time by Nathan Fusen as Hannibal was deep behind everyone again.
Cumberland Gap did a good job closing the distance and getting their hand on the football. Great play call by Rockwood to throw the ball down deep to your playmaker.
And I thought I saw another flag on the field, but I don't see any officials discussing it, so maybe not.
3rd and 18.
That's what I've got as well. Brackett rolls to his right, looks downfield, has a man there. That pass is incomplete. Tries to hit Alexander, and it brings up a 4th and very long.
And we do have laundry on the field.
Again.
Something going on.
It's a holding on Rockwood this time.
Yeah, and that was a holding on Abe Gaskins on Cumberland Gap's defensive playmaker, Tyler Mays.
So check this out. With 8:45 left to go in the fourth quarter, Gibbs leads Central 28-17.
Wow. That's a major, major game to be watching right now.
My
if Central
goodness.
loses 2 in a row after winning, what, like 28-32 in a row?
Oh,
Whew. Not a way that you'd like to enter the playoffs.
And Loudon has a lead over Red Bank 10-7 midway through the third. Brackett.
Get up there and catch the ball.
And Cumberland Gap doesn't. Calm down. Calm down. It's going to be okay. So Cumberland Gap will take over, giving up yards. That we have to state the obvious. There's 2:12 left to go in the third quarter, which means you've got 14 minutes and 12 seconds to erase a 21-point deficit. You need every single yard that you can get. Your gripe is legitimate.
Mm-hmm. You're making it harder on yourself. Anytime you let the ball bounce, you're making it harder on yourself. It's further for the offense to go.
Do you think coaches maybe have those people back there and say, if there's any traffic at all, don't go near it because they're afraid?
Special teams, sort of, you don't get a lot of opportunity in small-level high school football to do a lot of special team work. Ball was on the ground, but
on
it looked
a Hammers
to be down.
1st and 10. Rockwood takes over, and that's Logan Miracle, who you said you didn't think we would see again. He's back in the game. His very first snap gets the handoff and fumbles it. So let's watch this replay. That ball is coming out before he goes down. That's a good call by the officials.
Good eyes.
So now Rockwood will have a 1st and goal from the 10-yard line. A Hammers 1st and goal. Here's Brackett. Handoff goes to Alexander. He's immediately met when he gets it, but falls forward for a pickup of maybe half a yard.
Now, I'm not sure how many turnovers Cumberland Gap has, but I was thinking around 4 here tonight. And you just can't win football games when you give the ball to the other team so many times. So that's something they got to work on immediately if they plan on trying to get a playoff win.
Another scoring update. Oak Ridge has taken the lead finally with 10 minutes left to go in the game, 26-21. Now here's a handoff. Goes to Alexander again, and Alexander spins forward to about the 3-yard line, and it will be 3rd and goal.
Good hard run by Alexander, twisting and turning, spinning, picking up what he can. And in on the tackle again for Cumberland Gap is Tyler Mays.
Very impressive player.
He is. He is everywhere on this defense for that team.
Brackett, handoff, stuffed.
Great play by number 10.
That time it was Abe Gaskins on the carry. Just trying to go right up the gut, which Rockwood hasn't had a lot of success with.
Lance Owings, backup quarterback, coming in there with a secure tackle.
Rockwood.
That's a good hold. That's a good win for Cumberland Gap, keeping them out of the end zone here late in the third quarter with 30 seconds left.
Rockwood will attempt the field goal with Woodall. But remember, Brackett is the holder.
He did fumble one earlier.
Snap.
Again.
Fumbled again. And Woodall picks it up and tries to carry it around the left side. And the Tigers come up empty inside the 3-yard line of Cumberland Gap.
No one else to blame there but Brackett. Went right in his hands. And I'll tell you what, I don't like seeing him just sitting there wallowing in his misery as he messed up on a play. Get up and help your teammate out.
Now, there was a flag on the play. Been a lot of flags tonight. Dead ball. Okay, so illegal procedure on Rockwood, and Cumberland Gap is going to take the penalty? They must have stopped the play. It must have been a false start. That's all I can think of. A dead ball. It had to have been a dead ball. So that play didn't happen. So Rockwood will get another chance at this.
Big break for Rockwood.
But that would mean they needed to put more time on the clock, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the play gets off, but that kick is up and no good. So, again, I'll say it, and it actually means it this time. Rockwood comes up empty after being basically on Cumberland Gap's goal line, and that's how the third quarter will end. Tigers lead at 28-7. It will be Cumberland Gap's ball when we get back.
How many turnovers for Cumberland?
Things a lot easier. It'll cover your medical bills, auto repair, and we've even given you an allowance to help cover your expenses while your car's getting worked on. All you need to do is sign right here, and we'll take care of everything else.
Thank you so much.
A smiling cheater is still a cheater. If you want all your money, better call OEB Law and turn your wreck into a check.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
Back at our OEB Law Game of the Week, Cumberland Gap takes over on the turnover on downs, or actually a missed field goal. And here is a complete pass, pretty good gain that time, goes out to Logan Daniels. Good pickup on that one of 7 yards. We'll make it 2nd and 3.
The ball was thrown kind of high, so he had to come up and get it. He did a really good job of watching the ball into his hands and not turning and running before he caught it. So that's a good job.
That clock is ticking. Cumberland Gap down 3 scores. About a minute into the 4th quarter. Brunsma fakes the handoff, gets it out quickly, and catching that ball that time was McDaniel.
RPO. That's something that Cumberland Gap should have been doing a lot more of, is RPO, which is the run pass option. That's what a lot of programs throughout the United States is running, and that started in college football, and it trickled its way down to high school, and even some middle schools are running RPOs, which is huge. And that's defensive coordinator's nightmares, run pass option, because it's basically 3 plays in one that you have to defend.
Here's Brunsma. This time pitches it out to Miracle. Miracle going around the right side. Finds some running room before he's brought down, and he's getting up to about the 37-yard line.
And he's not running the football like he was in the first half after that stinger that he had.
Panthers will have it 2nd and 4.
Cumberland Gap in not much of a hurry. First half they were running some no-huddle. Tight trips.
Brunsma handoff. Miracle finds running room off left tackle and gets it close to the 45-yard line, but regardless, there's a fumble on the play. I didn't see the ball come out.
It didn't come out. Miracle had the ball and secured the ball
the
entire time.
The official signaled first down the wrong direction. I don't know. We can see this on the replay. Let's see. I didn't see the ball come out. I don't know if we can see the official there, but, yeah, he signaled first down the wrong direction.
Several times tonight, actually.
Okay. So here's Brunsma.
Oh.
Slips, able to keep his footing, though. Gets around the right side and gets the ball upfield. That pass is almost complete as he tries to find Fuson. And that would have been enough for the Hammers 1st and 10, but the pass falls incomplete.
He was never set, rushed to throw. Was under pressure by Rockwood. Almost sacked himself right here with a little stumble. trying to make something happen, made 54 miss. 54 gave up on the play. You never like seeing that. Just a little underthrown him. As soon as 54 gave up on the play, guess where he went? To the sideline.
Yeah.
And he's getting an earful of it.
Brunsma's pass is complete to McDaniel. Up around midfield. Pick up a 5 will bring up 3rd and 5. That clock still running under 9 minutes now for Cumberland Gap.
We're setting at around 34 degrees here in Rockwood.
Ooh. Brunsma looks downfield, pass complete. And almost breaking a tackle and breaking a tackle, actually.
Logan Daniels again, sophomore. He is a very talented young man.
Cumberland Gap keeps the drive alive, picks up the Hammers 1st and 10. Ball spotted at the Rockwood 34-yard line.
And so that's good timing on that route. It's basically as soon as he was turning around, the ball was hitting him in the hands. And that's what you look for.
That's a 17-yard pickup. And it stops the clock at 8:33. Brunsma with Miracle at his hip. 2 wide receivers either side. Drops straight back to pass. Now under some pressure, tries to reverse field, and he's going to be gobbled up and dropped.
And, Aaron, that's what you call a coverage sack. You know, he had all day to throw the football, but he couldn't because of the defensive backs of Rockwood were all over his wide receivers. And that's what a defensive line and a defensive coordinator love to see is coverage sacks.
That's a loss of 12. We'll bring up 2nd and 22. And, yeah, his eyes were upfield the entire time. Just nobody came open.
Nobody came open, but what you want to see out of the quarterback is to throw the football away or pick up what you can. This situation, you'd rather see him throw the ball away.
So Cumberland Gap in a hole. Brunsma drops straight back to pass. Gets it out quickly, and that's to Daniels. And Daniels gets it up to the 32-yard line, so a lot of those yards gained back.
Cumberland Gap's offensive line doing a good job blocking the 4 defenders of Rockwood. Rockwood elected not to send any pressure out of the linebackers, drop them back in coverage. It's been working all night. Continue with what works. Now we're looking at, a 3rd and 8?
Yeah, 3rd and 8. Pick up a 14 on just that, what looked like a quick slant.
Now, they did pick up a pretty good gain earlier on a screen. Let's see what they do with 3rd and 8.
Brunsma drops back to pass. Under pressure again. Escapes it. Looks upfield. That pass is caught. A one-handed grab from Daniels.
That looks like a first down, Aaron. It's close.
That is a first down.
Good
that is a
job.
Hammers 1st and 10, and we might hold. Let's look at it right here. Well, no. Probably
I didn't see a hold anywhere, but the outside defender of Rockwood, he was the outside contained guy. His job was to contain that quarterback, and he chose to go inside the running back's block, which allowed the quarterback to roll out and complete that pass.
And Logan Daniels had to adjust his body, spin it completely around 180 degrees because that pass was behind him.
That's a hard catch.
And he pulled it in with one hand. Great catch there by Daniels. Over the middle, that pass is intercepted. Going back the other direction is Rockwood. Up the sideline, one man to beat, can't beat him, and the ball comes free. And it's picked up, they call it down. Okay, that ball is down.
Gavin Evans coming big with the interception, 5'9", 195 junior. Not a hard play to make, threw it right to him, and the quarterback, what he was thinking there, as you see on the replay, Rockwood sent blitz. So he was thinking, all right, if they sent it up the middle, there shouldn't be a linebacker sitting right there. Well, there was. Interception. Big gain, good run there. You see him make several guys miss, which is –
that was a great run.
That's a great run by a linebacker.
Now, if that ball is fumbled, If that ball is fumbled, then Owen Heil is walking into the end zone.
And I tell you, it's close right here. Look. Ball's.
I think that's a fumble.
That's a touchdown.
So Heil's not happy about that, but it's a team game, and Rockwood has
Watch out.
Right here. Look at Hannibal.
That's touchdown.
Sprinting up the sideline, dives for the pylon, almost gets it. That guy is a highlight machine.
He is. I don't know how he jumped like that. And I tell you, he's got a good argument. That was pretty close to being a touchdown. Looked like he hit the inside
Let's
pylon.
watch this. He's a speedster.
Let's see right here.
I don't
watch.
Goes for the ball.
He stepped out. He did. Good call.
He stepped out at the 3-yard line. Wow. So give a lot of credit to Fusen of Cumberland Gap for running Hannibal down.
Even with the angle, that's a hard rundown.
All right. So here is Brackett under center. Pitches it out to Alexander, and Alexander just walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Rockwood.
And another penalty on the play of Rockwood, and that looks like that is big number Josiah Gilbert, number 54. If that's his second 15-yard penalty.
That is on 54.
And that would be his second, correct?
That would be his second.
Oh, okay. Wasn't an unsportsmanlike conduct.
Boy, Alexander.
It's not a penalty. Yeah. He's got to calm his nerves moving forward. You can't have these penalties racking up. He's already been talked to on the sideline.
Ben Woodall on to attempt the extra point, and it is up through the uprights. And Rockwood now leads this one 35-7 as the sun is going down on this Cumberland Gap team.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
Back at Civitan Field, it's Rockwood 35 and Cumberland Gap 7 in our OEB Law Game of the Week. Big games going on in Week 11. In the fourth quarter, Gibbs leads over Central 28-17. In the fourth quarter, Powell has overtaken South Doyle 15-12. And in the fourth quarter, Oak Ridge leads over Fulton 26-21. And Anderson County is a winner over Sequoia 55-13. So Woodall with the kickoff goes to the 25 and taken on a run this time. And up to the 44-yard line for Cumberland Gap. That's Holden McDaniel. And that's where the Panthers will take over with the Hammers 1st and 10.
And I believe that's the first time we've called his name in the second half. For whatever reason, they have not targeted him much in the second half, and he was Mr. Playmaker in the first half. So if I'm that offensive coordinator, I'm trying to find a way to get the ball into his hands.
Gatlinburg-Pittman exploded on Kingston, and that score now is 37-21. And that would mean that Gatlinburg-Pittman would take the 3rd seed in that region and knock Kingston back down to the 4th seed.
And I'm still excited for Kingston of even making the playoffs after what we saw early in the season. So Pankey did a really good job down there of getting those guys moving in the right direction in the second half of the season. Unfortunately, it looks like they're falling a little bit short here tonight, but still going to make the playoffs.
And we've got a timeout on the field. I'm not sure which team took it, but that doesn't matter. 5:06 left to go in this one.
It's truck and SUV season at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. New 2019 Ford EcoSport, $17,726. New 2020 Ford Explorer XLT, $34,995. New 2019 Ford Mustang EcoBoost, $23,995. Ray Varner Ford is Ford Truck Country. New 2019 F-150 Super Crew, $30,995. New 2019 F-150 4x4, $30,995. Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. Or shops online at rayvarnerford.com.
Make this spring all about enjoying the experience. When you ride on your new Ferris.
And back at our OEB Law Game of the Week, Cumberland Gap takes over. And we've got a handoff, the first play of this drive. That goes to Ethan Thomas, and there's a flag on the play. What else is new?
And both teams here, you see all the clean uniforms in the game. Both teams electing to play a lot of younger players, and I don't blame them. Holding on Cumberland
That's a
Gap.
personal foul, actually.
Oh, personal foul.
Yeah.
With the younger players already.
But, yeah, with under 5 minutes left to go in this one, it's a 28-point game. Okay, they signaled it the wrong direction again.
I'm not sure how many personal fouls Rockwood has had tonight, but it's been too many.
I would agree that it has been too many.
It's probably 60 yards.
Yeah, and if this Rockwood team wants to try to advance in the playoffs, you got to clean that up.
You got to clean it up. You know, you're talking difference makers in games. If this is a more evenly matched game, you know, that's a difference maker.
So the mayor of Rockwood and council members Steve Bryant, Jason Jolly, Shane True, Mike Fuller, Harold Holloway, and Bobby Anderson, all big fans of the Rockwood Fighting Tigers, and hope they have some success in the playoffs this year. As Mayor Brillo Miller would say, go Tigers, play hard, and win, win, win.
And I tell you, I'm going to be stopping by Smoking Joe's and buying me a Celebrate cigar after this game. Great season here at BBB 12.
I'll go with you. And
was that a
no, it was a forward pass. As we got a new quarterback in the game, that's Lance Owens, a sophomore on this team. Tried to hit Eli Wilson, a senior tight end. Kind of a sloppy play.
Yeah, well, you know, you're playing a lot of younger players, inexperienced players, and you know, this is how you build depth right here. You get these guys some valuable experience. 5 minutes is a lot of time to learn some football.
Handoff over left tackle. That's Ethan Thomas. And we have a final. Gibbs has defeated Central 28-17.
Wow, what an upset for Gibbs. The mighty Gibbs Eagles over there.
A coworker of mine who is a graduate of Gibbs was wearing his Gibbs sweatshirt earlier today. Boy, I bet he's happy.
Oh, yeah. Knock off Central. I mean, before tonight or before their last loss, it's like 20-something game win streak. For Gibbs to knock them off, that's a huge win for them.
So here's a complete pass. This one goes to Edward McGraw. So Lance Owens getting some valuable time here. So Cumberland Gap going to make the playoffs. They're going to be a 4 seed. That's difficult. They're going to have to go on the road somewhere up northeast.
But it's still a win for that program. To make it to the playoffs is a huge win for them. You know, and they're going to be looking for their first win in the first round of the playoffs since 2007.
It's a long time ago.
I believe I was 19 in 2007.
Phew. And again with a handoff, this is Ethan Thomas.
Good run.
As we near the end of this one, under 3.5 to play. Came into this game knowing playoff implications were on the line, and Rockwood just took advantage of the Cumberland Gap turnovers. And there's another fumble on the play, and Rockwood has recovered that one. So I think that's the 4th turnover on the night for Cumberland Gap.
I think it's 6-5 turnovers. I don't know. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Eli Grant, number 56, coming in on the fumble recovery, tight end, defensive end, 6'4", 215, good size.
And that's just the quarterback.
That's a simple play. You
Not
shouldn't
able
have
to handle it.
Yeah, that's inexperience right there.
And we've got a timeout on the field. Rockwood wants to talk about it. I guess you'll see the Tigers get in some new offensive players.
Yeah. Calling timeout, get your guys ordered up correctly.
You were talking about Smoking Joe's. You know, they got ice-cold beverages and all your tobacco needs. And it's located in Rockwood on Gateway Avenue. That's Smoking Joe's, located next to B&O Motors. If you're traveling south, it's on the right. If you're traveling north, it's on your left. And if you're traveling up, you're going to miss it. That's Smoking Joe's, Gateway Avenue in Rockwood. Get you one of them cigars.
I'm going to.
Has Rockwood sent its team out onto the field. Cumberland Gap did the same thing, but then Cumberland Gap called their team back to the sidelines.
Yeah, I'm just trying to you're basically watching a JV game right now. A lot of these guys are getting a lot of playing time that they haven't had in the year so far. So this is a good timeout, trying to make sure your guys understand what's going on, what their expectations are at these positions that they're not used to playing. Get some valuable experience, which will help you in the playoffs. You've got to get these younger guys some experience now because they will be called upon at some point.
What did you think about Coach Jeremy Pruitt taking 3 timeouts in a row at the end of the half against South Carolina?
And guess what? It worked. If you've got them, use everything to your what you have available to you, and that's what he did. You hear the Alabama fans booing him and everything else. Well, guess what? He missed a field goal.
Yep, that's true. And someone might have jumped early, but I don't see a flag on the play.
Good, no call.
So some new players into the game now as Landon Watts takes over at quarterback. And, oh, my goodness, this young man just entered the football game. And on his very first
someone might have jumped early, but
falls wrong. Takes an awkward fall. As Jeremiah Gallagher. And he's in pain. So,
not a way you want to start the game when you get in is rolling an ankle.
All right, so we'll find out more when we get back.
It's truck and SUV season at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. New 2019 Ford EcoSport, $17,726. New 2020 Ford Explorer XLT, $34,995. New 2019 Ford Mustang EcoBoost, $23,995. Ray Varner Ford is Ford Truck Country. New 2019 F-150 Super Crew, $30,995. New 2019 F-150 4x4, $30,995. Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. Or shops online at rayvarnerford.com.
Make this spring all about enjoying the experience. When you ride on your new Ferris commercial mower featuring patented suspension technology, you'll have more than freshly manicured grass. You'll experience productivity and comfort like never before. And because you won't be slowing down for those rough spots, you'll mow more lawn in less time. Ferris, experience suspension.
XL Bowman & Son, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Back at Civitan Field. As Jeremiah Gallagher is having to be helped off the field. Got one carry and fell awkwardly on that leg. Gallagher, just a sophomore on this team. Never want to see that.
Never, but Gallagher, what a Rockwood name. There's been several Gallaghers that starred here at Rockwood High School over the several years.
And we've got a flag on the play. A false start on Rockwood.
good opportunity for these younger players to get in and, like I said, get some valuable experience. Anytime you can get some younger players playing time, that's a benefit to your program. So John Webb's definitely taking advantage of that.
So score of interest, Loudon has come back with a vengeance against Red Bank. They now lead that one 24-7.
Wow.
And now breaking free for Rockwood is Gerald Hannibal, the freshman.
And Gerald is a load. He's 5'6", 205, maybe 215 pounds. And he's a load. Look at them thighs. Looks like a bus running the football.
I was about to make that reference. It does kind of remind you of that, doesn't it?
Big Jerome Bettis out of Notre Dame.
Most probably know him more for his time with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So a final, Powell does finish the season at 10-0. They get the victory tonight. We'll try to get that final score for you. And here's Hannibal again, running around the left side, finding some running room. Good pickup of about 8 on the play. And 15-12 is that final as Powell defeats South Doyle.
Wow. Powell's a real deal, guys. Listen, they have beat Greenville. They beat South Doyle. They've beat everybody they've played.
West.
Look for them to, and they're young. That's what's even scarier. They are young all over the field. Matt Lau has done a great job over there. A lot of talent has transferred in. They're going to be a powerhouse for a couple more years.
So here's Rockwood. Handoff. This goes to Jack Alexander, who's in the game. And a pickup of 4 for Alexander brings up 2nd and 6.
.40 seconds left. I'm trying to get another carry in if I'm Rockwood.
And then that's it. Then the game is over. You shake hands, and you get ready for the playoffs. And that handoff goes to Abe Gaskins. Just takes care of the football, picks up about 5, and that's the last play of this football game. So we've got some playoff scenarios, and we'll try to get some final scores for you and get that updated as soon as we can. But Rockwood comes out against Cumberland Gap. They lose the lead early, 7-6. And then after that, they reel off 29 straight points,
wow,
to win this football game, 35-7 rather, and get that number 3 seed. So
that's huge. But making the playoffs for this Cumberland Gap squad will be huge for them moving forward for that program. Getting to the playoffs, getting the experience to travel wherever they go and get that experience will be huge for this program. Those young kids will learn from that. They get extra practice. They get an extra game. So that's instrumental for that program and building for the future.
So let's see what we can find out really quickly for you. We do have the 5-Star Preps Friday Night Scoreboard show coming up for you. And you can join Jonathan Cox and
guys, make sure you tune into that. They have all the updates. They've got stats. They've got everything that you need to know about high school football in the area. So make sure you stay tuned and follow up with that and get updated.
So Rockwood finishes the season at 5-5, and Cumberland Gap finishes the regular season at 4-6. But again, both of those teams going to the playoffs. So I've got the playoff scenarios. And let's see what we can fill in right now. And we'll get you some stats for this game as well. So for 2A Region 2, obviously, the big game was this one to figure out the final seeding. So what you're going to have is Meigs County as the number 1 seed, Oneida is the number 2 seed, Rockwood's the number 3 seed, Cumberland Gap is the number 4 seed. Hampton was a winner tonight. So Hampton will be the number 1 seed.
As they usually are.
Yeah.
The Hampton Bulldogs always have a very strong football program.
All right, so let's look at our stats from tonight's game. 13 first downs for Cumberland Gap to just 9 for Rockwood. But look at that, rushing yards, 244 for Rockwood and just 47 for Cumberland Gap. Because in the second half, Cumberland Gap,
they were behind. They had to throw the ball a lot.
Yeah.
But Cumberland Gap didn't throw the ball a lot all year long. So see 244 rushing yards. Anytime John Webb's able to run the ball like that, he's more than likely going to get a win. You know, that total yardage, 334 to 183, but the biggest thing is the turnovers. 4 turnovers. I don't know how many fumbles were on for this game, but the turnovers, that's 4. That's you statistically, you lose the ball game.
Absolutely, every single time. So that's 35 to 7. You think 4 turnovers, that's 4 opportunities to score that you don't have.
Yep.
And let's just say Cumberland Gap scores on all 4 of those, then that's a tie ball game.
That is tie ball game. But Rockwood has got to fix the penalties. You know, last time we covered them, it was a lot of penalties. 8 is too many for the last regular season. You got to get that fixed immediately, and they will do that.
All right, so that is our coverage for tonight's game. As I just want to say a thank you to all of our sponsors: OEB Law, Oak Ridge Utility District. You've got Evans Mortuary, Hammers, of course, sponsoring the first downs all season long. SL Bowman and Sons, and Ray Varner Ford, Harriman Utility Board, Griffin Insurance Agency, Davis Funeral Home, Reno Sporting Goods, City of Rockwood, and Rockwood Natural Gas, Smoking Joe's, Big E's Market, Harvey's Furniture, Liz's Wine and Spirits, 7th District Attorney Dave Clark, Attorney Jim Normand, Rick Chin, Greg and Beth Palmer, Bryson's Closet, Jamestown Assisted Living, Jim Technologies, Mayor Warren Gooch, Congressman Chuck Fleischman, the Oak Ridge High School class of 1962, Bill Arrowwood, the UPS Store, Peters Jewelers, Sexton Automotive of Oak Ridge, Regina Copeland, Tim Shelton, Jeff Cole, Ann Coria, Tony Clower, Roane County AD, and that's thank you to the Roane County